Good evening, everybody. We are going to be going live with Tyranny very soon. But I do want to make sure everything's working first. All right. I think I just hosted and unhosted Metamancer, so apologies there. And let's get a tweet out. Hello, Dynamite TV. How are you doing? Let's see if we can make the magic happen. Yes? No? Yes? It feels quite a bit more quiet than last time. Hooray. All right. I am well, Dynamite. I feel a little bad that I wasn't spot on for 7, but that's sort of the way these casts tend to work. I've been working a bit later, partially because I have been having some trouble sleeping properly. Hey, Johnny Big Time, thank you very much for that auto host. So, yeah, things are good though. I'm enjoying work as usual. I have a Snapchat to look at, so I'll let everybody file in. I will get my 10 seconds in heaven, and we will jump straight into the game. Jesse Quill, hey, alerts are working! Thank you very much for that, host, my friend. And you will get a shout out as soon as I see you are live. Sorry, I'm very amused by what I'm looking at. Alright, Jess was kind enough to give me some very funny Snapchats, which I feel like I should return, but I have won a reputation as a enforcer of a despot to uphold. And then I'm currently streaming by candlelight right now, so perhaps that's less impactful. Tyranny. So for those of you who are interested in this game, I know we had a few people who were thinking about buying it. One way that you can buy this game and support the stream is to get it on GOG.com. They have a sale going on right now, however, I do not believe Tyranny is on sale. This game was just released. It's very well done, so if you played Pillars of Eternity, you sort of already know what you're getting into. They took that engine, well, it's made in the Unity engine, but basically they've taken all the development that they did for Pillars of Eternity and they've simply fleshed out some of the story elements towards it. If you are interested in picking up the game, you can get a direct link by doing !game. Or if you want to check out what's on the GOG sale, there's a lot of really good stuff there. I was actually meaning to sort of go over that sale and talk about some highlights for me, but time is short. But one thing that I do want to thank you guys for, and remind those of you perhaps who may not have done it, one thing that does help me out is if you guys do sign up for GOG accounts. Even if you don't buy something, it is sort of nice to get people into the fold. There's two reasons for that. One, I really do like that platform. I like the DRM free side, and their library of GOG Connect games is growing. So there are some games which if you own them on Steam, you can connect your GOG account and it will immediately transfer over to them. So if you don't want to have, the game phone home every time you want to play it, or just generally if you prefer DRM-free things, or you want a good alternative to Steam, those are all some great reasons to go in. Signing up doesn't cost you anything. And then if you do happen to decide to buy something off of the GOG site, you can either use the link through Tyranny, or alternatively you can scroll down. There's a link there to the Monstrous Fall sale, and if you click on that link and you pick up something, a little bit of the revenues will be heading towards my way. So it's something, in some ways, I kind of prefer to donations, because a donation is somebody directly saying, you know, I am taking something out of my income to support you. Hello, Jesse Quill. I was very amused by your Snapchats. I will give you a shout out and then we'll jump into the game, because there's a lot of dialogue for me to do. We're probably going to make slow progress, if I'm completely honest. But one of the really great things about GOG is it will, the GOG partnership is that rather than somebody saying, I'm specifically sacrificing, thank you very much for that auto host, Below Fantasy. You know, somebody's not giving up something, but it's rather just something that somebody would do anyway, especially for some of the games that I've been playing. For instance, somebody bought Political Animals, which I thought was really rewarding. It helps the developer, it helps me, and it's something for you. If you were going to buy that game anyway, and you wind up getting it through the GOG affiliate link, that's a way that a little of that goes towards me, and so it's sort of a win for everybody. And for me especially, because I want to see that platform grow. Now, we have a very special streamer here. You all got to see the host alert. Jesse Quill is in here, and I know I don't have a lot of people filing in. I'll start up the game in just a minute. I think we're past 5 minutes, so it's a good time to start going. But for those of you who have not checked her out yet, please do drop Jesse Quill a follow there. One of the easy ones, and she frequently says this, follows are free. But I want you to follow because it's free. I want you to follow it because she's one of my favorite casters on Twitch. There's a reason she's the only person who I put the mod sword on, and there is a reason why I spend so much time in her cast doing what I can to support it, whether that's financially or emotionally or being a pest inside of her chat. I do think in a lot of ways I find her a kindred spirit on one of the easy ones, sorry. A kindred spirit on Twitch in the sense that she uses the game as sort of a platform to talk about issues that are important to her. And as I always like to say, she's the heart to my head, so she will definitely talk a lot more about psychology, and she has a much better understanding of people than I think I ever will. But likewise, in my own streams here, there have been times, and we still do this, we'll talk about econ, we'll talk about history, we sort of let the game take us where we want to go. Sanel SC2, thank you very much for that follow. Sorry I haven't been giving you some gameplay. That will be following very shortly. By the way, thank you very much for the auto host blog and tea. I can't remember if I said that. But yeah, Jessie Quill is a very talented caster. She's been here pretty much since the start and continues to support me and encourage me to do new things all along the way. And I recommend her simply because I think she's one of the best places that you can spend your time on Twitch. I know she was back home in Indiana for a little while, so not as many casts lately. But if you haven't seen her, please hit that follow button. Make sure you get a chance to check her out. The best thing that a caster can really ask is a chance to entertain you. And as far as I'm concerned, you can do no better than Jess on this platform. Alright, I promised you gameplay. Let's do it. Spell sigils can be found throughout the world of Terratus. Collect these sigils to construct powerful magical attacks. By the way, guys, we hit 1,271 follows with that, so it's nice. I know, once upon a time, streamers can get excited, and I certainly got excited when I hit, nice, numbers that are divisible by 10. Hello, Silver Nightwing. Welcome. 1270 is still something to celebrate, even if you have more, followers. So. All right, I don't know what this door is. Oh, it's about the exit. So, what to say? All right, so 8 days until Kairos' Day of Swords. Now, this is basically the edict that was passed down. If we do not fulfill the sort of the requirements of the edict, then we will perish. Everybody will. I'm playing Irene, who has a combination of sort of melee attacks as well as spell casting, and it seems like our story has been a little bit, how do I put it? It's a little bit pro disfavored. I am warming up, especially with the character of Verse. I'm actually really warming up to the disfavored, but I do not trust the voices of Narrator at all. So for those of you who are new to the cast, one of the things that we do, one of the reasons why we're doing a lot of CRPGs is people do like it when I read out the voices. Now, it's a little more challenging here because the game actually has quite a bit of pre-recorded dialogue, which is fantastic. It's great for the experience, but I don't get to be as creative in terms of some of the the character choices that I make. So, oh, you don't have to be nice to the disfavored. That's just the way that it's turned out. So, all right. This battle report from Echo Call Crossing blames the failure of the assault of the village on the Scarlet Chorus. Apparently, their scouts failed to report critical intelligence about the enemy composition. There should be another. I'm noticing that in the mini map here, it'll give you little indicators, or actually, perhaps it's talking about these two chests. So, give me the loot. The Archon of War lets out a long sigh as he surveys the maps and the models splayed about his desk. He glances over his shoulder, making brief eye contact with you, furrows his brow, and turns back to his contemplation. The first time you proclaimed an edict, you gave the enemy a suspicious amount of time to ready themselves. I chalk it up to excessive mercy for a backwards people, but when the edict is against your kin, that order you follow to the letter. Bow to the Archon. May we speak a moment? Hello, SLF. And congratulations, Jessie Quill. You are one step closer to becoming a crazy cat lady. I tire of this endless prattle. I am the Archon of War, and the Overlord has decreed battle. If you wish to help, go speak to my soldiers. Return when you've done something useful. The Archon of War pounds the haft of his maul against the ground.
On it.
Alright, let's have a chat with... How did you do that? She first looks at you with a quizzical expression. Do what? Back in the Archon's war tent, you cast an edict as casually as reading a supply shipment. How did you do that? I've done it before. You cast the Edict of Fire on Velum Citadel. I heard about it. How Kairos' anger raised a volcano from under the sage's own fortress. That was some impressive work. That was me, all right. Well, call me impressed. Considering that you've read the words of Kairos more than once, I'm surprised that you're even alive to tell of it. Your vocal cords should have turned to ash by now. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just worth recognizing what you've done. Not only are you Tunon's Fatebinder, you're the mouthpiece of the Overlord. Gives me plenty of reason to stick around. You're going places, and I want to see where they lead. If you say so, I have some questions about you.
What do you need?
Let's see.
If you insist. I'm a Scarlet Fury. That should raise some flags for you. It means that I'm good at killing, and more importantly, that I enjoy it. What I won't enjoy are the pleasures of funerary rites packed with weeping mourners. Someday I'll fall in battle, and then they'll roll me into a mass grave or heap me atop a shit-stained wagon. One more anonymous, knife-riddled piece of meat. Until then, I plan to take whatever I can from life and have a little fun along the way.
I'm trying to look for the things that I didn't... Those kind of loyalty things that I didn't explore yet. What do you think of those who defy Kairos' authority? The Tearsmen can either fight or submit to Kairos' peace, and only one of those options captures my interest. I suppose I appreciate when they go down fighting. If they did otherwise, I would need to find another excuse to flay them. They need to understand, whether we unify the Tears under a shared banner at the bottom of a mass grave makes little difference to me or Kairos. Let's change the subject. I want to ask about our travels.
What did you have in mind?
What do you think of our present circumstances? Well, there's an edict hanging over our heads. As far as I'm concerned, the incompetence of the disfavored got us into this mess, and it will take the fury of the Scarlet Chorus to get us out of it. In other words, nothing ever changes. Back to my previous questions.
Go ahead, Fatebinder.
We'll talk again later. Speaking of needed funds, Silver Nightwing, Tyranny is available at full price on GOG.com. Hit !game. Sorry. I go from sellout mod to sellout streamer. If you guys ever find the GOG advertising a little annoying, let me know. I want to find the right balance between... I mean, obviously I did a lot of advocacy for the for the platform before I joined it, but I appreciate that there's a slight difference now that I sort of have a financial incentive for it as well. I kind of want to... I sort of want to respect the boundaries on that where I can. What do you mean we haven't heard from Commander Ironcore? It's been a full span since we sent word for him. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know... You guys can definitely feel free to beat me with a sack of hammers if I ever, you know, do some equivalent of, you know, oh, hey guys, you know, I'm not gonna be able to make the rent. I really need you to donate right now. Like, that kind of stuff I don't have a lot of time for. I figure at the very least, if I'm going to be a sellout streamer, I'm going to do it in a charming way. So, I had a choice between helping the Scarlet Chorus or helping the disfavored. Maybe in my journal it'll say something. Actually, you know what? Before we go too far, I do have some level ups to get out of the way, and there's a lot of sort of signals on here. So let's go through these, especially because it gives me some chances to, one, learn the game through the tutorials, and then two, get a little reading done. So, all right, level up Fatebinder, attributes 1 point. With each level, you can increase one of your character's attributes: might, finesse, quickness, wits, vitality, or resolve. Each of these attributes provides benefits to your character as well as increases to one or more skills. Increasing an attribute costs 1 point until the attribute score reaches 19. To raise an attribute from 19 to 20 requires 2 attribute points. Okay? So, I'm kind of curious why the 14 is green. So resolve... Oh, it's because I've got the effect of the edict on me, so... Let's shore up wits. Phantom Klepto, thank you for that, host. I believe Verse also gets an increase? No, apparently not. So why does she have a 2? I guess that's just a level. Talent points. There are 6 categories of talents available to your character: leadership, defense, power, ability, agility, ranged, and magic. With each level, you can you gain 1 point to purchase in a talent from any of these categories. Within a talent tree, each tier of talents unlocks based on how many talent points you've spent within that tree. To learn a talent, select its icon and then the save button to confirm your choice. Each companion has their own talent trees with unique abilities. These abilities unlock in the same manner as your character's talents. As you spend points within a companion talent tree, further tiers of talents become available. Alright. So... this is sort of interesting to me. So it looks like there is a leadership tree, but it requires me to... Oh, I need to be level 3, so I can't get any points in leadership yet. So it looks like defense, power, agility, range, magic... So it's only leadership that's blocked off to me. So we've got shield mastery, which I don't use shield, so that's not too helpful for me right now. Staggering force causes thrust to interrupt the target, delaying their next attack. That's pretty tempting. Shield Slam, again, I don't have any need for Shield Slam. So the only thing I would want in the defense tree would be Staggering Force. I have a feeling, though, that kind of the way that I play this character and some of the ideas I have in mind might lean me more towards the power tree. So we've got Cleave, a sweeping cone attack that hits multiple nearby enemies, tempting, but I think I'm a little bit more sort of focus. It's mostly speed and hopefully very, very strong attacks once I get some special weapons. So adds armor penetration to the thrust ability and increases its accuracy. Palm Strike. Perform a powerful palm strike to the target's chest, interrupting them, pushing them back, and silencing them from spell casting. Very tempting. I think probably I would do Focus Strike out of these three. Magic. Magical Prodigy grants a bonus to the lore skill. Tempting because that's sort of it's almost like getting a free sort of experience point. Arcane Charge adds the Spell Breached Affliction to thrust attacks. Also grants a bonus to magic skills for a short time after using thrust. This is actually really good for the combination that I have for this character. And then we have Charge Strike. Charge up your magic staff to release a powerful burst of energy that explodes in a small area around the target. Reminds me of my first date. Okay, so Focus Strike or Arcane Charge. I think first thing I'm going to do is actually double check my loadout. So I believe this is a slash and pierce. Interesting, so I don't actually have a thrusting weapon. So all of a sudden, Focus Strike doesn't quite seem as useful. So we've got Agility, Fury of Blows, unleash double attack on your target, which we already have. Feint, add a feint to your thrust ability. I wonder if thrust is just a generic name for an attack, because it doesn't seem... Okay. I'm going to need to take a look into that. Lightfoot's tempting, but not... I think we can do better. Slice requires 1 talent point spent in the agility tree, which you already have. Carefully placed attack that attempts to open a major artery, leaving the target bleeding. I believe I was considering that already. Arrow Shield requires 1 talent point spent in the agility tree when superior. Replace dodge with parry when defending against ranged attacks. And Sneak Attack adds bonus accuracy and damage to attacks made from stealth. I think we're going to go for Slice here. Yes, I have actually a few different quests, so I think I want to do some of the sub-quests before I take any other steps. So in this case, the Battle of Echo Call Cross, we've already completed these, so either Echo Call Crossing must be taken before Kairos' forces can press their attack on Vendrian's Well Citadel, help the disfavored subdue the rebels and take control of the crossing, at which point I would speak with Marshal Aranos. He is at the disfavored camp. And taking the Outer Valley, the Scarlet Chorus are currently attempting to secure the outer ring of Vendrian's Well. You'll need to help them deal with rebels' forces in the area before Kairos' armies may march safely upon the Citadel. Speak with the Fifth Eye at the Scarlet Chorus camp. When you met with the Archons, you learned that the Scarlet Chorus has an ongoing operation in Tripnettle, which hasn't proven successful. Speak with the Fifth Eye at the Scarlet Chorus camp and see what you can do to assist. So I think I might actually do this one first. But before anything, I want to do the side quests, which in this case will be the Forge-bound Iron. A shipment of iron bound for the disfavored camp went missing somewhere around Echo Call Crossing. Isotanus, a blacksmith working in the disfavored camp, had a suspicion it might well have fallen into enemy hands. It would greatly benefit the disfavored war effort if they had the iron to repair or forge new weapons. Explore Echo Call Crossing for clues to the missing shipment of iron. Isotanus has reason to believe that the settlement near Echo Call Crossing would be a good place to start looking for the missing iron. Wow! This is my character's biography. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this at the very end of the playthrough. Okay, I'm going to take a quick look and see if I can find thrust in this dictionary. I believe that is a specific type of attack, but they could just be referring to... Is there a way I can... Nope. I was hoping I would have a... I'd have a search function. So perhaps thrust just means a general attack. No notes. Records, so we've played apparently for 3 hours, 31 minutes, 12 seconds. We've traveled... Oh, maybe this is... I'm not quite sure actually what this does. These are actually... This is a really cool touch. Combat. So they call it an attack here. I think I'll go to the forums and find that out. Jesse Quill, not the first time I've heard those words. Sorry. Reputations. Scarlet Chorus, led by the voices of Narrator, the largest of Kairos' armies and tiers, growing in size with each battle. They embrace the voices teaching everyone... the voices teaching that everyone deserves only what they can fight for. So... So the neat thing about this game is that you'll notice that you gain abilities regardless of whether you're gaining favor or wrath. So in this case, I'm still okay with the Scarlet Chorus, although I thought my wrath was actually increasing a little bit more than I thought. We're well on our way to favor with the disfavored. Vendrian Guard doesn't like us because we've killed their soldiers. Lithian's Crossing does like me though. Verse, we're pretty much close to locking out our loyalty, although we're also sort of equally matching with fear. Graven Ash likes me, and the voices of Narat, it's pretty even, but yeah, he's going to be the biggest difficulty that I have. This is the spellcasting system. I'll probably wind up doing this in the natural playthrough, so I'm not going to go further, but I actually really like this magic system. Don't know what this one does, and no missives. All right. Let's go hunt for some iron. If any of you guys have questions about the game or the plot, we're not too far into the story at this point, but I know it'd probably be nice to get some... some context for what's going on if you're so inclined. All right, so I'm a little curious... Oh, you know what? I was also going to check out my gear. It's a two-handed weapon. I don't think I'm going to go for that. Armor? Not better. Anything can happen here? I'm going to guess no, because the Red Rivers are pretty fancy. Minor improvement with a two-handed weapon, though. I don't know. I think we'll keep her in that form, and she gets to put on the boots of her hated enemies. Well, Blasi, I really appreciate you stopping by. Sorry it can't be longer, but I understand completely not having enough time and being sleepy, because that's pretty much my life at the moment. Alright, settlement near Echo Call Crossing. It's not going to tell me... Alright, well, you know what? I don't really want to waste time, so... It may be that I don't get to do the... Hang on. I don't know if this is an either-or option, but I think in this case here I am actually going to speak with the Marshal just because I don't want to have to walk back and forth between the two camps. We are on a deadline, so... By Kairos' iron anus, it's the fire starter! And those swinefinks in the chorus told me you were a pile of ash. The massive soldier advances, arms spread to grapple you in an embrace. Salute. Graven Ash protects. Latching his arms around your body, Sebas lifts you into the air with the embrace. The North never forgets a friend in need. He places you back down effortlessly as he has scooped you into the air, letting out a soft chuckle. Hey, Queen of Hearts. Our little camp is overrun with these southern lepers that the Voices adopts along the way. Sebas looks out toward the brace of choirmen loitering by the edge of the camp. Probably half of them were fuckers we didn't kill the first time we went through this valley. Troubling thought. Graven Ash doesn't tell me everything, but I know you're here on official court business. Iron Marshal's running the logistics on this one. I'm just playing slave driver, making sure that the patrols stay on schedule. What do you need? I overheard you asking that Earthshaker where the reinforcements have gone. Is there a problem? I'm afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshakers, was supposed to arrive with a group of his most competent spellslingers to help break this stalemate. I don't know what's holding up their arrival, and that worries me. If you're at all inclined to lend a hand, we could use some arcane support on our side. I could lend a hand. Could you? I know that Tunon's agent wouldn't fail us in a time of need. I'll mark the last known site of our Earthshaker reinforcements on your map. Good hunting, Fatebinder. Why do you think the siege has been delayed for so long? It should have been over real quick and simple. The first cohort had arrived in the valley and went straight for the kill. But that was before we knew the Vendrian Guard had sages and that Water Witch on their side. The bigger problem is the Scarlet Chorus. They eagerly conscript the Vendrian Guard, but I have no proof of this. But it seems they do very little to keep a watchful eye on those drafted Tearsmen. They're sent out on patrol, and we suspect that they used that opportunity to escape back to the Vendrian Guard. Every Chorus conscript has a choice: life under Kairos or death under the army's boots. By all means, feel free to cut those down who choose the latter. We won't be offended. Just so we don't make a mistake each other, I know what I'm saying carries an implication of treachery. I'm not making a formal accusation before Tunon's agent. I'm just voicing my gut opinion on the matter. The two armies haven't worked well together in years. Why do you think that is? Come on, Binder. It seems like asking why beasts stink. The disfavored are only too eager to deliver Kairos' peace to the Tears, while the Scarlet Chorus may only bring mayhem in their wake. You can tell me that the Voices of Narrator has a plan, and I'll take your word for it, but the Chorus sure do seem to blunder around, never moving with purpose as we do. I wonder if we've been fighting the same war, soldier. I've seen Ash yank his precious soldiers away from more battles than he's won. If you want to call that progress, be my guest. Unless we find a way to work as one, I fear that the Scarlet Chorus will step in front of Graven Ash's strategies at every turn. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like the Voices of Narrator is here to amuse himself, while the rest of us are here to do our job. Tell me about yourself. Not much to tell. My father was Severus the Elder. His father was Severus of the first of his name, lead drillmaster of Ash's first Iron Guard, back when they were the Bronze Guard. I was born into the Legion, and, with any hope, I'll die in the Legion. The rest you will hopefully hear about when the storytellers immortalize me. He was in the Bronze Guard, so your family must have been with Ash since before he was with Kairos. Before he bent the knee to Kairos, Graven Ash rallied his legions against the Overlord's authority. His prowess on the battlefield ingratiated him to the Archons, who welcomed him into their ranks in exchange for his obedience. Sorry, guys. Ah, you know your history. Sevis nods with gusto. The blood goes back that far, not the memories, as I only ever knew my father. My grandfather was just a legend, one of Ash's best warriors before the disfavored were reforged in iron. He shrugs. I'm proud of my heritage, but I try not to brag. There are folks who love the Legion every bit as much as I do, but they lack the same pedigree. You should be proud of your pedigree. Thanks, but I try not to think about it too fondly. If anything, every time I screw something up, I wish I wasn't dragging the family name down through the mud with me. Back to my other questions. Farewell. Alright, so instead we're going to go to the Northern Clearing. Again, where I can, I want to deal with sort of the sub-quests first, and the main quest later. Although again, we are on a deadline, so we'll see how well that holds on. Oh wow, that's quite the journey. 10 hours? I think we're going to take a minute to go to the Scarlet Chorus camp, because I suspect we'll probably get an 8-hour difference here anyway. We're not going to start that quest line, but I am going to see if I can maybe pick up other locations and other side quests. It'll take you 2 hours to complete the journey from the Disfavored camp to the Scarlet Chorus camp. A rotting body bearing Scarlet Chorus war paint is skewered upon a wooden pike. Take another step and I'll pin your foot to the dirt. It proves everything, the warrior slams her fist together in a resounding clap. Like, for instance, whether you're fit to lead that flock of children. Behind her, the memories of her gang posture with weapons held at the ready. Did you not hear the news of the edict? This is a foolish distraction. We ought to be saving our fight for the enemy. The chorus warrior looks to his gang and gives them a quick nod. What's the problem here? No problem here, Madame Binder. She tosses her blade in the air, catching it with a smile on the way down. Captain Fuckwit here seems he's about to balk from the challenge. Thinks that just because he used to run a ship, he's qualified to run a gang. She spits on the ground, looking up with a scowl. So I'm calling him out, because the way I see it, his warriors ought to follow me, not this new blood. Captain Fuckwit was my father. Fuckwit will do just fine. The warrior points to the opposing gang. If we have to prove our strength, we'll do so happily. But I'll have your hands and feet removed and the rest of you kept to my own use. So this is the way that it works. I'll let you all fight this out. The soldier offers a quick, solemn nod. Come, who of you will be first to meet my blade? The gang leader tosses her knife out from one hand to the next. What are you looking at? Give me the loot! So part of this is, I mean, a nice thing about this is, of course, if you take the time to read the dialogue and understand sort of the lore of the game, you can have some pretty good rewards as far as just as far as dialogue options. Like, to me, there was no other option but to let those groups fight it out. Otherwise, I would be dictating the rules to the Scarlet Chorus, where it's not my place. These are chorus grounds. Oh. Past this point is chorus territory, and you don't look like someone's conscript. You sure you're in the right place? I am always in the right place. Fine, just come on in. I'm sure the Fury will gut you if you're really a problem. The guard half-heartedly waves you in as she nods to Verse. Watch yourself, Fatebinder. I wonder if the game's telling me to pick this thing up. Scroll. A scroll sits here, glowing with mystical energy. Read the scroll. I have learned the Sigil of Illusion. So, we can go in here. So this will give me a chance to show you how the spellcrafting system works. So first of all, you pick a core sigil. I started with the Sigil of Frost and the Sigil of Fire based on some of the decisions I made earlier on in the game. Those who master the Sigil of Illusion are skilled in the arts of deceit and trickery, using powers to misdirect and confuse their targets at critical moments. Often derided by combat mages for its inability to kill outright, those who specialize in illusion know its powers can turn the tide of any battle. It merely requires someone smart enough to know how to use it. So we'll see what we can do with this. In terms of expressions, we only have the Sigil of Focused Intent, so expression used to create spells that affect single targets near the caster. And we only have the range sigil right now. All these other ones are sigils that I have to learn, a little bit like gaining the Sigil of Illusion. So we'll select that. Requires 25 lore, so Verse wouldn't be able to use this anyway, but in this case it doesn't really matter because she's already full up on spots. So what will this do? Spectral Blur. Allied target, 30% graze deflection for 45 seconds, 30% hit deflection. So basically it's a protection skill, which I'm fine with because I've got empty slot. I mean, there's no reason not to equip this because I've got massive lore, and I don't know when that's going to be useful. I suspect it'll actually be quite good for damage mitigation. How are you doing, Eden Crisis? I am well. The Binder of Tunon arrives. Squealing with a teenager's timbre, the fifth eye's voice makes your gums itch with your fingernails, and your fingernails feel in need of a, I believe it's supposed to be a trim. So I guess I have to redo the dialogue. And we just finished having a bit of a sport with some captives. But worthy not. We'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. I'm not going to do a teenager, but... Dressed in the blood-red regalia of the Crimson Spears, the fifth eye beckons you to stand close, wagging a blood-splattered glove. Have you come here to order the Scarlet Chorus to die so that the disfavored might live? That was how you played it back in Vellum Citadel, after all. Typical reasoning of a Northman. Disfavored lives matter more than conscripts, no? This is a decision that I made. Now that you've issued the edict and doomed us all to die, perhaps you've come to help us climb out of this hole. Chirps of laughter emanate from under his mask. How has the camp responded to the edict? With mewling, bawling, the occasional orgy, frequent vomitists. A shrill, tittering laughter escapes from under his mask. The bloodlust is there, but so is the fear of failure. Should our glorious horde fail to overrun the citadel, we will surely all perish. I mean, I don't see the disfavored pulling their weight. I trust you are getting your warriors ready for battle. We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. The fifth eye wags a hand in the air with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the Outer Valley, and unless we deal with the second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. The disfavored think that you can't control your horde, and that many are defecting back to the Vendrian Guard. Wrong! And perhaps... He gestures with his spear in an arc towards the sprawling camp. It is not a mean feat to herd this many desperate lives. For every 2 hands of humanity, there is at least 1 finger that snaps from the stress of our ways. I have a few have been lost on the margins, I won't deny that. But if you store grain, expect some rat feces. And if you're lead killers, expect some desertion. You have how large a force, and for all these weeks you've let the enemy move freely through the valley? I'm hurt. Insult my manners or my maturity, but do not insinuate that I sit idle when there's blood to be shed. The Crimson Spear clasps his fists together. We've dealt with countless Oathbreakers, but one remains large despite our best efforts. Captain Pellox's crew consistently evades or kills our own gangs. So you need help taking out these Oathbreakers. And while a good old-fashioned slaughter would be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to ours. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners. One of these prisoners claims that she can lead us to the Vendrine Guard's secondary camp, though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use her help in questioning this Varakel. Perhaps you'll get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we know where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try to take their captain and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. Why not just ask the Archon of Secrets? I thought he could interrogate anything. An unintelligible mutter escapes from under the Fifth Eye's mask as his posture stiffens. I do not tell the voices of Narat what to do, nor do I question his motives. The Archon is busy plotting the imminent destruction of these Oathbreakers and is not to be disturbed. I've known the Archon to demand personal interrogations, but it's only ever been with leaders, mages, and others of great merit. I'm often imagined the interrogation process is not to be taken lightly. Perhaps it's downright exhausting for Narat. I don't belong to Archon Narat. What's my help worth? You wound me, Fatebinder. The Fifth Eye places his hand over his chest, feigning the start of a swoon. And I thought the joy of working for the illustrious Archon of Secrets would be reward enough. But if you need to be missing half your head to think an expert works for free, tell me what will make this worth your while. Faithful service is reward enough, so long as my efforts are recognized. Gain favor with Tunon and the Scarlet Chorus. Sorry guys, just a second, I think I dropped my phone. Let's move that back. Sorry about that, I don't want to spend too much time doing not gaming things, but I'm playing in the dark, and generally when that happens, I wind up standing up and stepping on objects. Because I plan to be here a while. I will speak with the prisoner. Oh, sorry, the opinions of others matter that much to you. Then far be it from me to argue. It would be my pleasure to speak of your charitable deeds at great length. I'll be even sure to tell Tunon what a noble ally you've been. So I will speak with the prisoner. I'll meet you there. She's waiting by the other prisoners. Small marks have been painted onto this corpse, marking certain body parts as more difficult targets than others. Give me the loot. Okay, so I can wait, hang on a second. This bronze hammer is somehow better than my existing bronze hammer? Apparently it is. So this is mostly better, but I don't like the idea of like wearing this Scarlet Chorus armor. So let's see if Verse can get any benefit from this. Absolutely she can. And nothing else. Snigler Dagos. Upon noticing your approach, the merchant straightens his posture and smiles. What an honor! Named Stigler Dagos, originally of the relative tranquility of the Northern Empire. I've since accepted a nomadic life for the sake of keeping Kairos' forces supplied with only the finest goods, local and imported. Let me see your wares. He winces a little. It's not much, but let me know if you see anything that piques your interest. Let's see if I can dump some stuff off on him, so... let's hang on to the javelin just in case I want to do it. Actually, I'll hang on to the weapons that I might use. I mean, I guess I could sell all these other things, but I think we'll just hold off for those. So we'll start by trading. We'll get some money. I think I really want any of this. Let's see. Yeah, we're just going to make money off of these. These threadbare tents show signs of hard use and long-term exposure to the elements. So I've got a few options. I think I'm going to hold off on here just because that's the person I need to interrogate. Give me the loot.
Can't do that.
Don't have enough subterfuge anyway, so I think I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm gonna just save for a second, because if that's a rest... No, I do not want to rest for 8 hours. Look at what we have here. Chewing on some manner of cud, a heavy-set soldier flings spittle and crumbs as she talks. The Fatebinder finally shows herself. I'm Reg, the second soldier chimes in, and this is Baz. We were wondering when you might pay this camp a visit. The Fifth Eye has been a little starved for attention. He ordered us to watch your like a troublesome babe. Make sure you don't get out of line. Baz knits her fingers together, joints cracking as she smiles. Reg clears his throat loudly, scowling at Baz. Something like that. If you have questions, ask us. Good luck finding anyone else in this camp who'll give you answers, or even a smile. So anything we can do for you? Tell me about yourself, Baz. As a sellsword at the back of the beck and call of fat merchants, just another dented face in the crowd. After too many years of spilling blood in the local skirmishes, I realized I was only killing time. Then Kairos showed me a better way. Unity. Purpose. Now I fight for something, not just someone. Been watching the Scarlet Furies, practicing my blade work. Not good enough to join them yet, but I bet I could show you a thing or two. Tell me about yourself, Reg. He scratches the back of his head at a loss for words. I had a family, the farm, and then the chorus came and, well, now I have the chorus. Priorities change. When you hear screams in the night, you feel a braid pressed against your neck. Things like farms or families don't seem as important. I used to have nightmares thinking about the culling. When the Scarlet Chorus conscripts a village, they hold a ceremony known as the culling. Every able-bodied man, woman, and child is given a weapon and forced to fight their family and friends to the death. Those who survive are deemed strong enough and free from old ties to join the army and the voices of Narrator. Felt awful remembering how I hacked my ma and dad to bits just so I could survive. Rig's eyes shadowed for a moment with sorrow, to take on a feverish gleam. The Fifth Eye heard me howling one night, pulled me out of the horde and took an interest in me. Now I'm studying magic, calling fire from nothing. If my ma and dad could see me now, they'd be so proud. Tell me about your time in the Scarlet Chorus. Reg and I were conscripted at the Gates of Judgment. He used to fight for Aukon, me for Azure. Baz chuckles, sketching her chin in thought. How many fights we survived so far? 11? Reg begins to count a series across his fingers. No, 14. I count each day and sunder separately. The chorus is... Baz looks about the camp and shrugs. Not as bad as it smells. A strong like me and Reg, we're allowed to take what we want, what we deserve. We live only as well as our strength affords us, as it should be. What can you tell me about the fifth eye? Reg trades an uncomfortable glance with Baz and lowers his voice to a whisper. They say he shares a direct link with the voices of Narrator. Guard your tongue around him. He's a little wild, bloodthirsty, mad. Baz thinks for a moment. Brilliant. Reg flinches and glances over his shoulders. I was going to say eccentric. The chorus isn't picky about who joins the ranks, so you can expect to find some unusual types. Most as likely to kill you as promote you. What do you know about Vendrian's Well? The walls seem imposing, but the Vendrian Guard do a better job of hiding its weaknesses than fixing them, she shrugs. We took the Citadel once before. We can take it again. We have to, don't we? Reg looks at the imposing tower of the spire. Though Kairos knows I don't want to stay any longer than necessary. She follows his gaze and shakes her head. You should know better than to parade your cowardice before the Fatebinder. It's not cowardice. It's just superstition. Are you afraid of the spire? Sorry, Fatebinder, I shouldn't have mentioned anything. He sighs. The fact of the matter is that we were told to stay away from spires and old walls ever since we were babes. Of all the dumb childhood lessons that fell by the wayside, that one stayed the same. Imagine a soldier of the chorus pissing himself over architecture. It's more like what's underneath it, Reg founds. The Bane lurk around those old sites and kill anything that they catch unawares. I have no wish to meet the Bane in combat unless there's 100 blood chanters at my back. Hello, Sam Samson. Good to see you again. She twists her lip into a frown and considers this. Me neither, I suppose. Baz, let's see what you can teach me. Let's dance, Binder. So this is a little bit like, I think this is a bit like Skyrim in the sense that I get to, or is it Skyrim? There's a few games where you actually get to train, I'll do 3 into dual wield. Baz spits a wad of chewed bread into her open palm. These rations are foul. Taste it! Can't tell if it's poison or mold. I heard that I watched a spotted disfavored scout by the grain stores. You don't think... I feel fine. Maybe it's an herb to slow my hand a little. Sabotage is a coward's weapon. Maybe it's just gone bad. Seeing you, Red pockets his ration without taking a bite. Fatebinder? Reg, show me what the fifth eye has been teaching you. I'll make this valley burn. I wish I knew what magic staff would do for me. Kind of want to train lore, though. There we go. So I'm going to make sure to use that each time I... each time I level up.
See that?
See what?
They won't see me coming.
Oh, so there is something that they're tainting the food with. The dog tips its head in an quizzical expectant manner. Hail, Fatebinder of Tunon. The disfavored officer pounds a heavy gauntlet against his chest in a stiff but warm greeting. Were I a betting or superstitious man, I'd say fortune must favor me today. I am not. But I'm pleased to meet you all the same. Now what brings you to my little slice of personal damnation, otherwise known as... He spreads his thickly gloved hands wide. This here mud and shit-stinking chorus camp. Have you something you'd like to report, soldier? Maybe you've noticed something unusual during your time here. He cants his head to one side, taken aback. What about the chorus isn't unusual? The army itself is a strange, malnourished beast. But no, the screamers seem mostly in order, ma'am. And I haven't been spying, if that's what you're implying, ma'am. Still as a post, he studies you sharply, scarcely appearing to breathe. Of course, even if I was, I'd be damn near impossible to learn anything from this shit sty. Fifth Eye and those damn Furies don't even loop me in enough to, for me to do my detail. And it's not for lack of trying on my part. What do you mean? I'm not here to keep a steady eye on the Oathbreakers, who they give far too much freedom after conscripting. I'm here to be a resource to the benefit of both armies. I can provide insight regarding proper stratagem and request a stock of troops from the Iron Marshal Eranos for reinforcements if needed. But they won't listen to me, nor confide in me, nor fight beside the brethren I could request. Where are you stationed with the chorus? From the way most of my days goes, you'd think I was here to row with the Blood Chanters and the Scarlet Fury, but my post is to represent the disfavored interests before the Fifth Eye and the Scarlet Chorus for Iron Marshal Eranos. Not that I've gotten to do either in much of the last span. What do you think of the Scarlet Chorus? They're rabid dogs, a lot of them. Ever seen a screamer racing headlong into battle like a hound chasing a winter hare? I have. I can tell you more often than not, it's the screamer who ends up skinned and gutted. Leave the campaign to the chaos that's the chorus, and we're doomed. You act like it's a punishment to be assigned to this detail. Isn't it? I know I fucked up to get here. Got 3 days in the hole, a nice little promotion to go with my new post. Well, I won't be making the same mistake twice when it comes to the Iron Marshal. He juts a chin towards the distant valley. Should be out there, fighting for Ash's glory, not standing here ready to run back like a report should something ever finally fucking happen. What exactly did you do to end up here? Made the grave mistake of suggesting the Iron Marshal wasn't fully utilizing the Scarlet Chorus. Well, here I am, a liaisons officer to a camp of liars and cheats who'd sooner gut me than ask me for my aid. Guess she showed me. Our lives are at risk and you can't even get along with the chorus? Begging your pardon, ma'am. I've never fought a battle in my life, a battle where my life wasn't on the line, he shrugs. Kind of nature of the war, isn't it? Farewell.
That wasn't so hard.
Most of these provisions are withered with rot. Johnny Big Time, thank you very much for that host. Sorry, I should have read that out. I was just kind of curious. Station with the chorus. Have they been cooperative? No one tells me anything. They lack honor and discipline. Don't think they could cooperate even if that's what they actually wanted. Guess I shouldn't be surprised considering they serve the Archon of Secrets. You'd speak ill of one of Kairos' generals? No, you must know I have no disrespect to the Overlord, ma'am. He shifts beneath the weight of his armor uncomfortably. Besides, only a dumb shit or a dying man would insult the voices in his own camp, and I don't intend to be neither. So guys, Johnny Big Time is another caster, one I have a lot of fun watching. On Monday night, he does WWE. Now, I never thought I would have... I never would have thought that I would have watched a lot of WWE stuff. Sorry, let me just read the lore stuff here. Battle plans are scribbled over a bloodstained map of the tiers. Arrows point towards the inner ring of Vendrian's Well Valley. The small circles are drawn around the citadel. Anyways, he makes that look a lot of fun. I actually have through, I think it was a Humble Bundle, I got like WWE 2016, and I kind of want to do it on cast now because he's just made it look so fun. And I talked a lot about Jesse Quill and sort of how I find a lot of things in common, and of course we've become very good friends off cast and things like that. But one of the things I really need to say about Johnny Big Time, you'll notice that I talk a lot about personality, and Johnny Big Time has a really great sense of fun and entertainment, as does Jess. But I definitely know Johnny's personality is really larger than life. But the other thing that I really love about his cast is that he's also quite good at the games that he plays, and I very rarely comment on people's skill when they're playing a particular game, because I think that's really a very small part of what makes a cast. And yet Johnny Big Time is so consistent with his choice of games. He plays them well, and again, he's got smack talk down to an art. So for those reasons, I would definitely say he's absolutely worth checking out. I strongly recommend that you do take the time to see his cast. And again, between him and Jesse Quill, you've got probably two of the people I spend the most time watching. You're on a losing streak. Interesting. Oh, that'd be hilarious, Johnny Big Time. I'd love to watch that. These arrows are splintered. They're fletching mottled. They were likely pulled from corpses. I guess I need to talk to the fifth eye now. No, I've got Death Knell as well that I can speak to. You! As much as an accusation as a question, the broad-shouldered woman shakes her head with a scowl. So you're Tunon's Fatebinder. I was expecting something more impressive? She bows in spite of her misgivings. Death Knell, Scarlet Fury. My time is yours for as long as it amuses me. The fighter effortlessly spins the bronze sword in her hand. Let's get one thing clear. Stick to your words and law. Leave the fighting to the grown adults. Your corpse would just be a tripping hazard to those of us who have a proper bit of carnage sport. Got enough useless twats dying for our name as it is. All our horde recruits seem good for of late is piling a shit-reeking mound on the battlefield. She hums low to herself and flips her sword side to side with several deft flicks of her wrist. Keeps up, and we'll have to toughen our recruitment standards again. Now, what do you need? You said something about the horde thing? Swelling until it's thundering, then crashing and receding. It's been the way of the course for as long as I've seen it. She offers a one-shouldered shrug, ambivalent if anything, but more likely just uncaring. We take our prisoners alive, give them a chance yet to live, to be reborn into something better. Putting away any and every able body to the sword like the disfavored is nothing but a waste. A conquered enemy is but a new ally. It merely requires the proper coercion. Of course, we do sometimes have the problem of lingering loyalties. Deserters are rarely successful in their escape, but they do try. The Vendrian Guard are strengthened by their numerous blood ties. Have to be particularly stubborn. So I have a better plan hatched. Get to the point, soldier. Oh, fuck you. She flips her sword over end in annoyance. If looks could cut, you'd be bleeding. Oh, I'm getting there, don't worry. I'm thinking, we redouble our efforts to recruit settlers, focus on the unaligned and unsuspecting, instead of flushing ourselves to the gills with oathbreakers claimed from the battlefield. How exactly do you plan to convince them? A knife point has sufficed well enough in the past, but you've inspired me to try a little more diplomatic approach this day. What do you say, Binder? You might be able to ease them into the idea, to save the lives of their friends and neighbors in the process. Sure, why not? It sounds like a bit of fun. By the way, Johnny Big Time, I was meaning to ask, who did I take the host away from? The Fury howls a satisfied laugh and smacks you dead on the back. My methods are surefire, you'll see. I'll mark out the settlement on your map. She grins, biting her bottom lip bloodied. I can't wait to see the outcome of your efforts. What are you expecting? Or what were you expecting? This is to her line of, I was expecting, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? Let's see. Death Knell counts on her fingers, conducting some mental tally. From your deeds during the conquest to how you've helped us since then. I expected a mountain, a warrior of colossal size who could shout a rampart wall into submission. She smells. But I think you'll do just fine. That's fine, Johnny Big Time. You know what? Just insult me again and I'll bury that blade in your belly before you can scream. She peels a surprised but pleased laugh at your threat. Tapping the flat of the blade against her thigh, she cants her neck until it audibly cracks. Maybe there's something more to you Fatebinders after all. What can you tell me of the Scarlet Chorus? We're the voices of Narat's glory made manifest. In the chorus, strength rises and the weak feed the soil. Deathnell smiles, standing tall as she extols the army. Our ways terrify the cowardly and shock the naive, but our traditions exist to offer promise and prestige to those too fit to claim it. We abandon all petty rules for one simple law: the strongest must lead. What is your role in the Scarlet Chorus? Deathnell frowns, her eyes narrowing. Do you not recognize a Scarlet Fury when you see one? We're the warrior spirit of the chorus, scholars of the sword and shiv. She folds her arms, puffing out her chest. In peace, we train those tough enough to endure our lessons, but wise enough to learn from the best. In battle, it is our duty to slay our foes and inspire the horde with our skill and bravery. Deathnell clicks her tongue, looking aside to the others in the camp with an eye roll. We're the fearless vanguard of this confused but glorious rabble. Oh, Johnny Big Time! Actually, I gotta make a person for you now that I think of it. But yeah, especially in XCOM, so XCOM 1 had some customization in it, but XCOM 2 definitely went all out in terms of the stuff that that you could do. So I think I should be doing a little work tonight. How has the military life treated you so far? Oh, it's a wonder of wonders. I eat what I want, I shit where I want, and I kill who I want. Sometimes I can even combine the pleasures. She winks at you. My enthusiasm for the work brought me here. A decorated Scarlet Fury veteran, eh? But I'm looking for advancement. If it means killing one of the gang bosses, I'm not above taking a swing at someone bigger than me. Yeah, Johnny Big Time. I mean, both games are fantastic. I would recommend XCOM 1, probably first of all because it's going to be a little bit cheaper. But number 2, XCOM 2 definitely ratchets up the intensity, and I think it's a little bit easier to miss the things that they added in XCOM 2 than it is to benefit from the additions. But both of them are outstanding games, and I mean, Jess, it's probably the top game that she recommends me play, and it's one that I'm really wanting to put some quality time into once I thin out my list of games to play. Oh yeah, Johnny, I mean, you absolutely need to play both, but I mean, try out XCOM 1, see if it's your kind of thing. And if you want, maybe we can do some multiplayer sometime too, although I'm not as good at it. My enthusiasm for the work brought me here. I think I already did this, yeah. They can be bigger than you. Just make sure they don't hit harder than you. Wise words, sister. Farewell. All right, so we're getting lots of quests, that's for sure. The Fifth Eye, commander of the local Scarlet Corps, surveys his camp, watching you in stillness and all manner of violence as all manner of violence and revelry occur around him. He offers a slight nod at your approach. Was there something else? What is your role in the chorus? While the whole of the chorus remains loyal to the voices of Narat, I am truly the most loyal. His voice becomes wistful. Oh, so loyal of his numerous warriors. He's a Crimson Spear. Crimson Spear, part of the Archon's inner circle. Dozens of the strongest gang bosses answer to him, and from there the orders trickle down to the rest of the army. I'm the Archon's material retainer and humble servant. I am his eyes and ears, but also his mouth, for I speak with his authority when he is absent. He twirls his flanged spear in his hand, and I am the killing edge when the rabble is moved to war. Did you ask for this honor? I did not have to. The voices of Narrator saw the need inside me through his arcane ministrations, burnt away the clinging, cloying parts of me that foolishly resisted his enlightenment. Good thing you mentioned loyalty twice. Now I'm really convinced. Fifth Eye stares at you, arms folded. He says nothing. When did you take the vows of the chorus? Unlike most of the conscripts here, I did not need a cudgel against the head to see the wisdom of the Archon of Secrets. I proudly joined the chorus in the nascent days, left my home in the bastard city to join the incoming chorus. The rest is glory and history. These days you follow the chorus or die. We who choose the path and kill to defend our place are the old guard. Even if it's been 2 or 3 years, the chorus has a short memory. She nods to the Fifth Eye with grudging respect. What can you tell me about Ascension Hall? At the center of Vendrian's Well, at the base of the mountain spire. He points to the northeast, where the spire cuts a vertical line rising above the other mountains in the horizon. Is a small fortification. Ascension Hall is the name of the Citadel's inner council chamber. Ascension Hall is the name of the inner sanctum of the old citadel built in the geographical center of Vendrian's Well. It was here that the Vendrian Guard signed the surrender of 429. We'd left a garrison when this valley was first taken in 429, with the citadel being their base of operations. When the Oathbreakers staged their revolt, the garrison at Ascension Hall was defeated. Makes sense that Kairos' edict would demand that we burn this rebellion back to its point of origin. What do you know of the disfavored commander? Iron Marshal Erenos is a doting warrior, just like the Archon of War. She's one of the few select disfavored, cautious and cowardly enough to be trusted with the Archon's iron toddlers. No doubt her primary qualifications include being related to Ash. The Legion's a little big into its pedigree, if you catch my drift. Though I'm loath to speak highly of her, I cannot deny she's a brilliant swordsman, and the other disfavored seem to take her seriously, despite the serious stick that she's propped up her backside. Who is the strongest in your camp? I am, naturally. Well, the Archon is, without question, the mightiest in the camp. Deathnell is the master trainer here, but she's found almost tough enough to take me. She's a biter. Don't tell her I told you that, but she can be trusted to fight and lead. And while her humility is lacking, Verse is correct. She's been running with the Furies even longer than Deathnell. Too bad that skill and puissance did nothing to save her sisters. Sounds like you're insulting my friend here. Did I detect a hint of fighting words in your voice? Then I must have spoken in error. I meant no offense. I wished only to convey that Verse is a true survivor, an embodiment of the kind of grit the chorus reveres. So kind of you to step in and protect my honor that way, because I'm clearly incapable of speaking for myself. Is there a reliable quartermaster or peddler in camp? Talk to Stigler Dagos. He's wise enough not to steal from you, but he'll only cheat you a little bit. He's right over there. He points nearby to the east. But he has an important honor of arming, trying to arm all my merry little conscripts, so don't expect Kairos' armory or anything. Please, someone! I wish to bow before the voices of Narrator. I thought I could find redemption in the chorus. A woman in makeshift armor in the Vendrian Guard lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest that she's been forced to stand for days. This one, he flippantly waves at the prisoner, was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Vendrian Guard encampment. But she is being entirely honest. I told this thing... The prisoner turns pale a moment before a look of determination comes over her face. That I wanted to guarantee I'd live and be welcomed into the chorus as a captain. Then I'll talk. Otherwise they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Vendrian Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. Why should I trust the words of an Oathbreaker? I suppose I have no answer for that. Vera's eyes fall to the ground as she swallows nervously. When I joined the Vendrian Guard, I accepted their broken vow unto myself. Have you not felt passion for a foolish cause? When you later came to regret? Well, my surrender is sincere, and I'm willing to bow before the voices of Narrator to prove it. You claim that you would disavow your people for the Scarlet Chorus. Why the change of heart? Because I want to live, and and you don't need to be the Archon of premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. She blinks several times, catching her breath. Kairos is the new strength in the tiers. I would rather stand by his Archons than be crushed by them. Tell me what you know, and I can see to your release. I heard the chorus is looking for Captain Pelox Florian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. She turns her head, taking a long look at the skewered and smoldering corpses around her. She tugs at her restraints, but to no avail. You're lying. Why don't you tell me what you actually know, and I'll see about saving you. Well, you see, shaken by your demand, her lips move wordlessly for several seconds. So I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I can tell you... She shakes her head, catching her breath. Search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points at her foot, calling attention to a nearby pile of corpses. The tall dark one missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was the literate one in our crew. He had the orders. With a snap of his fingers, a pair of choirmen yank the boot off the fallen guardsman. A rolled parchment slides out of the boot and thrusts into Fifth Eye's hands. He unfurls the scroll to give it a read. It's nonsense. Just a mash of words. Laughter erupts from under the mask. She said she had information. She gives us garbage. Slay this wretch for wasting our time. He snaps his fingers at a nearby Scarlet Fury, who promptly snatches a long knife from her belt. I heard her say she'd swear fealty to the voices of Narrator. An initiation rite would be in order. Seeing as you are an expert on the subject of fate, I will entertain your wisdom on the matter. What then do you propose we do with her? Point to the other two prisoners. Let's test her loyalty. Variah, kill these guardsmen with something blunt. Variah looks at the prisoners, once her allies, and closes her eyes as her bonds are untied. The onlookers snicker and cheer when a heavy rock is placed in her hand. Mouthing something inaudible, she lifts the rock from high above her head and smashes it down on the prisoner's skull, wincing back a scream as she hoists the stone over her head a second time to finish the job on the other prisoner. The bloody rock hits the ground, and Variah slumps to her knees in defeat a moment later. Good! Good! The Fifth Eye places his bloody hand on the trembling woman's shoulder and nods to her. Welcome to the Scarlet Chorus. Do not fail us. As a pair of soldiers come to lift Variah, the Fifth Eye turns to you, his voice filled with glee. Where's the slain to clean up the offal when you need it? We're no closer to getting the Oathbreaker's position, not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers and all she gave us was gibberish.
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
The voice comes from another prisoner tied up next to Variah, an older gentleman with the quills, ink vials, and parchment scrolls one finds of the sages of the School of Ink and Quill. Ink smudges cover his cheeks, temples, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of fabric you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. Who are you?
I'm Sage Lantry, one of the hired quills that was coordinating missives between the Vendrian Guard captains. They aren't paying me anymore and aren't coming to my rescue. So I'll decipher that parchment for you. That's what smart prisoners do, right? Make themselves useful?
Sage, one of the longest surviving schools of magic in the tiers, the School of Ink and Quill is a venerable institution devoted to the acquisition and preservation of knowledge, or so the sages profess. Putting more of their energy towards amassing knowledge than disseminating it, they began their scriptorium in 17TR through a series of incremental expansions. The structure became the Vellum Citadel, only to be known as the Burning Library after Kairos' Edict of Fire brought ruination in 430TR. Not all sages know magic, but those that have mastered the guild's traditional spells can employ magic of protection and preservation. It's a poorly kept secret that the sages have gradually acquired a wide variety of magic practiced by rival mage guilds over the generations. Hired quills, running a household or army requires a great deal of logistical know-how, and it helps to be literate and capable of maintaining your own records and ledgers. Most leaders employ assistants, known as hired quills, to log harvest, schedule payments, balance payrolls, and dedicate letters to friends and rivals. Read the parchment for yourself. You unroll the parchment and see the message of modest length written in professional, albeit hasty penmanship. The Tiersmen speak the Canto like the Northerners, but they have half a dozen different ways of writing it. This particular script is unknown to you. Show him the parchment. Can you read this?
Let me see. I can't.
You hold the parchment in front of the bound sage, and his eyes dart down the length of the missive. He reads the words a second time, nodding in silence.
I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
A few hours? Either you can read it or you cannot. What use is this sage that doesn't know his letters? I've heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. Your life depends on you translating this scroll now.
I would love to help. I just need some time. That's written in another sage's shorthand. I'd have to sit down with it, or better yet, compare it to a piece of his writing I have stashed on me somewhere. If I sat down with it while sufficiently sober, it's highly probable I'd figure it out.
Sober? Since when do we share the good stuff with the prisoners?
Oh, nobody shared. Right before I was taken prisoner, I imbibed several vials of reagents. I wanted to be numb and disconnected when my captors used me for carnal catharsis. It's made these last few days tied to a post almost enjoyable.
Hello, Runebroder. It can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you the sundial is working against us. This added old bag is trying to stall us. The voices of Narrator will be upset to know that you squandered a source of enemy intelligence. How true. Then we shan't put him to waste. He will serve as a most riveting source of amusement as we put him on trial.
Fatebinder, I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
Release this prisoner at once. I'm taking him into my custody. Not a chance! He's our prisoner! If you think you can crack the information we need out of his skull without troubling the Archon, that's one thing. But you're not walking out of here with our property. Grab him by the mask. Did you just tell me no? Ah! The chorus warrior emits a whimpering squeal as you grab him by the chin of his mask and pull him close. Gloved hands press against you, but try as he might, his push cannot exceed your pull. Release my prisoner to me, and I won't shame and degrade you in full view of your followers. Yes! Yes! He grunts and stammers as he struggles to wrest free from your grip. Once you release him, he shuffles to regain his composure. You two! Dusting himself off with one hand, he waves to two nearby conscripts with the other. Release the sage! He's the Fatebinder's problem now! The sage is unbound from the post. Stiff legs nearly buckle as he attempts to walk, and his arms flex and flail with their new freedom. Wiping sweat and grime from his brow, the sage steps close to you with a nervous smile.
Thank you. Oh, I thought I was going to wind up as another corpse in that pile. Now, hand me that parchment. The sooner I can find out what it says, the sooner I can get out of this place.
Oh, they're really going to make me wait the 2 hours? I thought I was going to be able to do that while I did the quests. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I could make out some important parts of the text. The note makes mention of a meeting of spot west of Tripnettle. So the old sage knows his words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead to see if you can't get this Captain Florian to yield to the chorus. They will strike at first sight of the chorus gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is the face they see. I know the area, and I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. You're offering to come with me. Why? Because the alternative is what? Living here with these illiterate brutes? My old study is under the River of Fire, and there's no family missing me. Besides, I'd much rather chronicle the binder that twice proclaimed an edict of Kairos. To be a fool not to let someone else write your story. Swear fealty to me, and I will let you leave this place with me. If that is your price, I will pay it. I, Sage Lantry of the School of Ink and Quill, do pledge my services and scheme to the Fatebinder, and by extension to the Court of Tunon. He dips into a steep bow before rising with a solemn smile. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how not to get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way, and let me know if I can be of service. Are we done here? Let's hightail it to Tripnettle. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears.
Yes.
Hang on. It's telling me I need to win his freedom? Oh yeah, we did. Oh, and he's got some points, so... I think let's double down on his wits. So we've got Quill, which he's already got a point in, so that we can gain Penetrating Throw, Quill Flurry, or Subtle Throw. Subtle Throw might be best because I suspect I'm going to be making him move quite a bit. We've got Watcher's Judgment. Lantry strikes his target, interrupting them and lowering their non-physical armor. If used from stealth, this attack will also paralyze the target. That is very tempting. Preservation, we already have Renewal. Improves Control Vigor skill. Improves Control Life skill, so it could be a healer. I could boost up Renewal. I don't know, I really like this Watcher's Judgment. Oh yeah, I've got more than 1 point, so... Arcane Judgment, to strike foes near the target with arcane attack. Enemies have their endurance, will, and magic defenses reduced. Passive bonus to subterfuge and dodge. Improves lore. Gains hit precision and the ability to decipher ancient languages, a useful skill for discovering new magics during travel. I think we'll do that. I'm also tempted to go back to the disfavored camp and,
Will do.
I think I will actually, because it seems like I just get new locations every time I... Yeah, actually, here's what I can do. So I can go to this favored camp, remote settlement, and presumably back to the Scarlet Chorus if I successfully recruit them, so... This pack is blocked by a small group of Vendrian Guard. You can go no further until you deal with them.
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
A woman's voice booms from atop a nearby outcropping. Flashes of aquamarine body paint peek out from under her loose... I think it's supposed to be P-E-E-K. From her loose fading traveler's garb, and her outfit is festooned with braids and knots of a sailor's line. Flanked on either side by warriors dressed in Vendrian Guard regalia, the woman leans an elaborate bladed staff pulsing with arcane energy. A swath of blue fabric rests draped over her arm, so the body paint... The blue body pigment, bladed staff, and complex braided attire are the traditional trappings of the School of Tides. According to Fatebinder Rogalis, the majority of the school fled before the coming of Kairos. The remainder were last seen during the first campaign in Vendrian's Well. The School of Tides traditionally studies the magic of water and grave light, the art of directing the moon's arcane light into baleful, searing energy. Blue flag is a symbol of diplomacy and truce recognized across most of the known world. It is the custom of the Tearsmen, a custom the Tearsmen hold dear. To harm another person under the auspices of a blue flag is a grave offense. In both Tears and in Kairos' empire, the customary punishment is death.
In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
The woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in ready stance, the nerves clearly on edge. In accordance with the ancient customs north and south, I abide by this truce.
As is our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos' way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
Tarkus Deimos is dead.
I see. That is as I feared, but thank you for telling me all the same. I prefer closure to wishful thinking. If I may make one more inquiry, what of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
Pyrex Tyrell is dead. She nods slowly, saying nothing for a long moment.
My apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
I have some questions for you.
I will entertain them as best I can. After all, understanding is the only hope we have. What is it you wish to know?
Why do you resist Kairos? What are you trying to save?
I grew up without my knee bent to Kairos, and if I'm going to bow to someone, let it be another Tearsman. We've ruled ourselves just fine for centuries, so we'll give our lives so that our sons and daughters might rule themselves.
The Younger Realms were beset by constant battle. You'd prefer that to Kairos' order?
You make conflict sound like a bad thing. Yes, the Younger Realms saw frequent battles, but it was never this wholesale slaughter like we've seen of late. No Tearsman ever cast an edict on the soil, or forced prisoners to kill each other, or butchered beastmen tribes.
Only your daughters are really free in the Tears. Why fight against Kairos' equality?
There's freedom, then there's trusting idiots with power. Give a man 1,000,000 marauders, he'll lose sleep worrying over his neighbor's 1,000. I prefer my realms ruled by the braver sex. For centuries we've let the lands to the women, and the seas to the men. And we did plenty fine until Kairos came around.
What makes you think you have a chance?
Oh, we don't. Those who believed Kairos could be stopped all died years ago, in the first wave of fighting. It's not about the hope of victory. It's about the hope of inspiring others. It is very likely we will fall here in Vendrian's Well. But perhaps others will arise elsewhere.
But a mage like you should not be the subject of such superstition and fear under Kairos' reign.
I doubt life is any better sworn to some mad Archon. I'd rather stand with my fellow Tearsmen. Or, I suppose, stand immediately behind them in the event of an attack.
At the remark, the soldiers flanking her exchange shocked looks. Ebb turns her focus to her compatriots.
Yeah, you heard me. Way things were years back, you'd all be calling me a water witch and conspiring to sell me out to the nearest sage. Just because I'm helping you stop Kairos doesn't mean I've forgotten the hospitality of ages past.
And people wonder why the Tearsmen could never unite in time to fight back. It's refreshing to see that some things never change.
Let me ask you something else. How did you and your friends overthrow the garrison?
I would joke that the voices of Narrator left the gate unlatched, but dozens of warriors lost their lives taking the citadel. There was no secret to it. We simply attacked with speed and certainty at a time when the Archons were elsewhere in the tiers. The Scarlet Chorus had a rout, and what few disfavored soldiers were present made an impressive showing. But they were surrounded and overwhelmed once the chorus fled.
Who is in charge of this insurrection?
Listen to you, thinking just like the Overlord wants you to think. There always has to be a person in charge, or things don't make sense. We don't answer to anyone. We are each of us sons and daughters of the Tiers, and take this task upon ourselves freely. But Captain Tarkus Ari, former Falksman of Queen Vendry and Alanta, is the voice we trust when we seek unanimity.
I trust Tarkus Are and Tarkus Demos were relations.
Yes. Deimos was Ari's brother. We were certain he was dead, but the captain takes family seriously. So I volunteered to find some answers. And now here we are.
Were there prisoner swaps in the past?
That is our way, Binder. Here in the south, only thugs and bandits kill prisoners. The younger realms may be guilty of constant fighting, but we never slay each other when the battle's long over. We're not about to change that now. As a rule, Kairos' forces haven't been keen on swapping prisoners. But I know our disfavored prisoners aren't prisoners anymore. I just assumed they were swapped for some of our own.
That's all.
Fair enough. But now a question for you. The Edict. I can feel its magic coursing through the air. Everyone can. But those of us enlightened to the currents of magic feel it most. The wording of the Edict. What was it?
Glare silently.
So you will not say. I expected as much. Can it be worse than endless storms or fire pouring from the earth? Not that you'd answer that either. I've another question for you, if you will entertain it.
Are we really standing here and chatting with Oathbreakers? It's hard to watch, like cuddling a goat you're going to kill for dinner.
Ask your question, Eb.
When I was young, my parents told me the Tiers were special, and the Overlord's edicts and armies could never touch us. Seems I've been told a hefty sum of lies. So answer this honestly for me, please. Is it true that Tunon's fate binders can smell truth from falsehood?
I'm done answering questions.
In accordance to our ancient customs north and south, let us conclude this truce in peaceful accord. May peace find you soon, Fatebinder.
She and her retinue can turn to leave.
On it.
We got stable root. Give me the root. We've also got some dialogue with Lantry, but I'll save that for later. Oh, hang on. No. I want to go to the favorite camp. So I have to find the Iron Marshal. Here we go. Don't just coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take on the momentum. Iron Marshal Aranos, field commander of the Disfavored, pounds her fist in the air as she calls out to the warriors on the training field. I've said eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden shirt as she clears her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. How are your warriors reacting to the edict? Kairos' ultimatum has the camp on edge, some with dread, but most are rife with anticipation. She points to the men sparring on the field. We have a lot of brothers and sisters to avenge, and the warriors are eager to take out some aggression. I, for one, choose to see the edict as a blessing, for it forces the generals to act, and we're long overdue. It was mentioned that you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echo Call, and Little Tooth crossings. The Vendrian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-prong attack. I have no right to give you orders, but... Her words falter, a short cough breaking her flow. But we all die to Kairos' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. I will assist. Then our plan might just work. The Iron Marshal lifts the gauntlet close to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. Rogue Usagi, thank you very much for the host. How are you doing? We are loath to work with those that would not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunon the Adjudicator selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I can trust you will honor us on the field. Antio will be leading the charge at Echo Call Crossing. Assisting you will be Barrack of the Stone Shields. She points to a heavily armored soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no Forgebound weren't sloshed on Dappleseed when they were fitted in this armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and this armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, it's quite brilliant. Otherwise, it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, Eranos signals to the hulking presence. Barrack, come meet the Fatebinder. The soldier that steps up to you better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
Nod silently. Barrack returns your nod, silent, save for the creaking articulations of his alloyed carapace.
Barrick, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Just a minute, you two know each other?
No. Oh, that is to say, yes. I'm already as familiar with this ironclad halfwit as I care to be.
She regards Barrack with a mixed look.
We don't have time to trade jabs today, Verse. After the siege, you can throw as many tantrums as you please. I suggest that we remain focused on the mission.
No offense to the mission, but seeing you looking like a garbage heap and reeking of a mass grave is more amusing by far. Did you forget how to don your armor, or did Graven Ash leave you out in the rain?
Barrack sighs a frustrated growl, shaking his iron enclosure of his suit. I know him as well as I knew anyone during the conquest.
That can change. When the tiers are fully under our command, I'll take you to whatever passes for a watering hole in this forsaken country. We'll drink the local swill to honor the fallen.
Forget the fallen. I know a great brothel in Lethian's Crossing where we can watch something rise, then fall, then rise again.
The Fightbinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help, and more importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we will have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
He nods to you, his armor creaking as he bends his neck. They say that Barrack will accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Barrack, you've been without a cohort since the last Battle of Stalwart. It's time that we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. She plants her hands on her hips and speaks in clipped official terms. Ash has assigned you to the Fatebinder's service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Barrack regards the Iron Marshal in oppressive silence. That's an order, Barrack. She shakes her head and sighs, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I'm honored to have a member of the Iron Legion at my side. Excellent. I look forward to your success in the field. Okay, so what's Barrack made out of? Let's give him... might. Gain a chance to attack enemies as they engage you, or increases one-hand, two-handed melee weapon damage, or Barrack becomes an intimidating force on the battlefield. Enemies nearby Barrack have their resolve reduced. Let's give him Art of the Blade.
Right.
Yeah, so turns out it would have been better for me to accept the mission at the camp, but that's not so bad because I have the remote settlement. So what I think I'm going to do is I'll do the remote settlement, we'll do Trip Nettle Wilderness, and I need to remember what the Northern Clearing would do. Then we'll return to the Alcohol Crossing. It's not an ideal lineup in terms of the time that it'll take, but it makes sure that I don't go to too many plot things without fulfilling my missions. So. Alright, so I have to convince the settlers to join the chorus. Let's sneak. Give me the loot. Well, so much for stealth. As you step into the center of the village, you feel as if you're being watched from all angles. The distant patter of feet echo off the walls of the small and seemingly deserted village. No need to hide. I've no desire to fight, merely to talk. The wooden beams on the rooftop of the north creaks under someone's weight. A tree rustles behind you. Remain silent. A voice bellows from the rooftop with a cackle. Go home to your overlord! Sorry, friend, but you won't be leaving here in one piece. We'll send your head back north. I want your folks to see what happens to those who invade our lands. Well, let's see what we're going to do. I want to make sure that Lantry is protected, so I'll get my tank up to the front. We will get Verse to work her magic over here. Actually, let's start off. We should be starting off with some magic, so. Okay. I think Verse is going to do Searing Palm. Irene will do Frozen Grip on the Archer because we need range. Iron Tolling. Barrack and the Fate Binder both bang on their shields and armor harness, harassing an enemy. The target is compelled to attack. Yeah, we'll just get him to charge in. And finally, Lantry. What kind of weapons do you have, my friend? Quill Strike. Nice. Okay. We'll start by giving. Alright, so I definitely need Lantry to get some help. Alright. Looks like we got a few comrades in trouble, actually.
See you there.
So I think what we do in this case, we'll get the Fate Binder to do Spectral Blur on the ally. Unfortunately, that means she's gonna... No, I can't actually afford that, so... Let's instead do kind of our pummel attack. I'm surprised... Yeah, this shouldn't be so close. Let's get him out of... Alright, it's two on one now, so we should be okay. We'll We'll do a frozen grasp on this guy. Lantry, I don't know what you're doing, but it's embarrassing.
Apologies, but I can't do that. I'll take care of it.
I'm on it.
Everyone pile on! Guess I can burn him. And then we'll get Lantry at the top here just to do do his thing. And we can do a healing touch on
I can't.
our tank, actually.
I'll tear.
Oh, so much for that. Flicking the bronze tip of her blade, a Scarlet Fury strolls into view with a smug smile, flanked by an entourage of soldiers. Not bad. I'd have piled up the same number of corpses in half the sword strokes, but, well, where are my manners? What not ought to criticize help so generously given? She sweeps her arms wide in an exaggerated mocking bow. You've my deepest and sincerest gratitude for gutting those Vedrian pissants in my place. How can you be so damn pleased? These people are dead. That's several conscripts that won't be joining the chorus. We already got what we needed, the willing ones. She points to several of the armed fighters at her side. We're hoping a different face might convince the remainder to join, but alas, we can't win them all, can you? The Oathbreakers were but a warm-up. Step closer so I can knock that grin off your face. Ho now! The Fury pulled up a scarred hand in protest. No need to break my bones over it. If you're frigging pissed, take it up with Deathnell. It was her plan, not mine. She wets her chapped lips before continuing. Look then, I'll tell everybody how badly you slapped around the Oathbreakers, okay? You did us a real favor, and you deserve to have your glory touted. And with that, she nods curtly and sheathes her blade, bidding an end to the exchange.
I got it.
So I'm going to loot the place, and I'll probably give Verse her levels.
Sorry, I can't.
All right, Verse, impress me. I think quickness might be the best bet for her. Or I could do might just to sort of pump up her damage. Let's do quickness. I've got some choices for talents, it looks like. So we can do Hobbled Prey. Verse pins the target's feet with an arrow, hobbling them so they move more slowly. Launch an arrow drenched in oil and covered in place. Sets foes on fires for much longer than burning iron. Attacks made with bows gain armor penetration. And while only wearing light armor, gain bonus to dodge. That's a tempting one. Then we have Mocking Iron. Verse taunts her foe, enraging them and forcing them to attack her for a brief time. Know your enemy. When an enemy strikes Verse, she gains a passive bonus to dodge and parry skill until the combat ends. The effect stacks. Killing Spree. After a kill, Verse will strike twice as fast with her attacks for a short time. And finally, Fury's Rush. Verse moves quickly about the battlefield, too quickly for enemies to engage her. Let's do Killing Spree. So we got to return to Deathnell at the Scarlet Chorus camp, which is fine because that's on our way to other stuff. And eventually I'll do dialogue with these other guys, but... nothing to do with the disfavored camp, so let's head straight to the Scarlet Chorus one. Fatebinder. Death Knell nods in your direction. Now, what do you need? Puncher. In one swift stride, you close the distance between the two of you and land a punch squarely in her stomach. The force of it knocks her back at a pace, causing her to take a knee. She lets out a few coughs before regaining her composure and standing back up. You've got some explaining to do, Fury. I don't appreciate being used. The Fury can't contain her glee and begins to laugh, but quickly winces at the pain it immediately causes. Oh, come now. I knew a fighter like you could hold your own against those Oathbreakers, at the moment I laid eyes on you. She winces again as she slowly unsheathes her sword and hands it to you. Clearly I've ruffled a few feathers. Take this as my sign of no harm done, okay? Well, strictly better, so... Although I think I'm going to keep this one due to its eradicating. Right-click for details. Charges low health enemies with energy, triggering violent explosions on death. Yeah. Oh, right. I gotta remember what these things do. So Forgebound Iron was near... had to be Echo Call Crossing, which we're heading to anyway. So we'll do Earthshaker Reinforcements, which is in the Northern Clearing. And then on the way, we're going to look for that... kind of look that for that rebel leader. So Trip Nettle earned its title from the preponderance of thick stinging nettles. Though expanding settlers aggressively cleared the plant, the name has persisted. Trip Nettle is but one of several expansive forests in the valley, easily capable of obscuring rebel movements and operations. You determine that the Vendrian Guard must have operated in this area, making it a prime location to secure. Reinforcements! Finally! Come this way! We need to... The chorus warrior pumps his tattooed arm in salute. Midway through the gesture, a look of confusion dawns across his painted face. Sister Verse! What did I do to deserve such a helping hand? A chuckle escapes the man before he shudders, placing a hand over his mouth. At once alerted the need to remain quiet, his voice drops to a harsh whisper. The Fifth Eye has a sense of humor sending you. Verse returns a cold glare, but says nothing. I'm here to round up the Vendrian Guard. Thank you for the host again, Jesse Quill. Oh yeah? Come to steal my quarry? He lets out a muffled chuckle through a half set of teeth. Who am I fooling? We met our match 2 days ago, and we aren't in any shape to tussle again. Much as I'd love the bragging rights of claiming some scalps, my gang needs a rest before we can pick another fight. The camp is just yonder, he points to the northeast, and we've kept an eye on them for the last couple of days. Most of them left a few hours ago, looking for food, maybe out on a patrol, but they haven't returned yet. Might be wise to strike now while they're divided. How did you find this place? Happy accident of sorts. He points east towards the mountains. We were up the mountains with the orders to keep the Oathbreakers in, and keep any would-be allies out of the valley. Strangest thing happens. Tremors hit the pass, and the tremors lasted a bit. So I figured they were magical, but they didn't have... there weren't no sign of Earthshakers or anybody. Remain silent. Figuring we didn't need to watch the pass no longer, we headed down slope, to back to camp. He points with an eye to the north. New fish in the gang's got good eyes, so she spotted the campfires from out high. We got curious, swung this way, and it's pretty much how we got here. What's your plan now? I lost 2 of my gang in the mountains, and we're on half rations for days, so until we get a much larger contingent, I'm not likely to win any fight we start. Now that you're here, I figure my gang will hold back and keep an eye out for trouble. Maybe swoop in if things get messy. There silently. My gang and I will lurk nearby. When you make your move, we'll descend and help with capturing Florian. Don't worry, I'll let the others know you did the heavy lifting. I'll cheat at battle, but not with my reputation.
That wasn't so hard.
Sorry, I can't.
One really great feature of this is
Have a look here.
pushing tab to... Oh god, I forgot. I was going to go to the disfavored camp and let them know that the food's being poisoned.
Quiet down!
So if you push tab, you get an idea of what the stuff you can pick up is. And in this case, we are going into an enemy area, so won't be bad to sneak around, although it is going to take a while for me to explore everything. I guess I can go without stealth for this outer area. Soldier stares blankly into the distance. Can't you see we're busy? Keeping a lookout's thirsty work. You heard the boss. Go get us some fresh recruits. Excuse me.
Will do.
Hey, I think we saw that stone before.
Shh.
Found something.
Or secrets. Staff of Atrophy. That was the skill I ultimately didn't take. Alright. So we're gonna get detected soon. Let's see. I don't think I know what weapons these guys have until they draw them, so we'll blast with ice, blast with fire, charge, and quill.
You got it.
Kill the intruder!
See that?
Aha! And there's a trap. Alright, now I really need to, I need this guy to get to safety. Friend, please! Help our ally! What's going on, you clowns? Alright, we're gonna do our flurry of blows. Let's get Verse to... I guess we'll get her to freeze, because she's
Sorry, I can't.
sort of doing the tanking now. Actually, while we're at it... And Rennie can finish the task, so... Oh, here we go. Thrust is a special ability. Indeed, Jess. There is in fact an ability called Quill. Alright, I think this character has the best subterfuge.
They won't see me coming.
Thruston's right here.
I got it.
Can guarantee best thrusting in Ottawa. So what do you guys think of this game so far? I know it's been a little bit... It feels like it's been a little bit more of a... kind of like a moderate playthrough. Certainly enjoyable, but...
I'd say that's worth a second glance.
Alright. Let's see if I can get Irene to... I'm kind of curious whether or not disabling it will... trigger... Nope, we're good. Okay, so she's probably not going to be able to get out of range in time. It's going to cause somebody to get suspicious. Nope, okay, good to know.
Can't do that.
We'll clear these guys out in the end because there's 3 of them. Yeah, but I don't know. I am expert. Alright, so it looks like we don't have any options. I think we'll just do the same as before, except this time we will make sure that everybody's sort of a little bit better positioned. So he shouldn't go any closer than needed. And basically we're gonna divide everybody between the 3, so Quill, jump out of invisibility. Fire. Just massive strength fighting. Let's see what happens.
At once.
Alright. So next up, we're going to do a little freezing.
Right.
Not a problem.
And we'll rain down blows on this guy. I want to do Burning Iron on him just so we can sort of get the ticking damage where we can. And finally, she'll skewer this guy in the back. Alright. And now it's just wrapping up. Alright, so it looks like... Oh no.
I'll tear the skeleton out by your ass.
I got it.
Okay, so the AI actually looks like it's making some decisions on its own. That's good to know. I probably...
Is that it?
Ah, damn it.
No, wait. It's blood.
So I think he just wound up wounded.
Time to lighten my step.
I just should have hit the buttons, the stealth button a little sooner. All right, what attribute did I want to move up? Quickness is tempting. So is accuracy, though. Or finesse. Or might. Or wits. I mean, wits does improve lore, so I think I'm just going to evenly boost up my core traits until I hit 19 on them. Okay, now I've been going down the agility path, so I can still add fate. I could still add Lightfoot or Arrow Shield, Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack is very tempting given the way that I've been fighting lately. Dual Wield Mastery increases weapon damage while wielding each weapon in each hand and allows basic attacks to strike multiple times. I think I'm going to go for that one. I especially like stuff which... Yeah, see, I particularly like things that are passive abilities that don't require me to do a whole lot, so... So all that happened with the trap was Landry took a bit of damage, but... Insects flutter around the land on a few pieces of rotten vegetables interspersed against the produce. Give me the loot. The Overlord's peons have arrived. Blades up! Phalanx in hand, ready for battle, the Vendrian Guard captain bellows his orders at the warriors in the camp. Dressed in tarnished bronze and sporting countless scars across his arms, Pellox Florian towers over his peers. If you value your life, you'll drop everything and flee, or stand and fight. I'm happy with that option too. It just seemed unsporting of me to suggest it. Surrender, I left my nicest blue flag back at the camp, but I'd like to talk all the same. You want to talk? Florian looks in either direction at his soldiers, gauging their reactions. Fine, speak your mind. Try anything funny and I'll run my falx clear up your backside until you taste bronze. So I can say, Graven Ash sent me to inquire about this favor taken captive during the uprising. Scarlet Chorus want you, just you. The rest of your warriors are incidental. They can walk away and nobody will notice. We have your brother Tyrell and his band, most of his band sent through entering. Graven Ash wants one Pellox for another. Nope. The Scarlet Chorus want you. Just, well, see, this isn't gonna... Graven Ash sent me to inquire about a disfavored taken captive during the uprising. He did? Quiet down, oaf. Them? He regards you with a puzzled look. Captain Tarkus would know more. I've been in the field for quite some time. He lifts an eyebrow, sizing you up. I'm sure you know we don't kill prisoners, but I can't give you a better answer than that. What are you doing out here? Preying on wayward soldiers? He shrugs with a paired smile. Do you come out here for a chit-chat? The Scarlet Chorus want you. Just you. The rest of your warriors are incidental. They can walk away and nobody will notice. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. You better have a damn good reason for spilling our plan. Oh. Yeah, that wasn't planned. Curious. Almost flattered. Florian nods slowly, pondering your comment as he studies you head to toe. Why tell me this? What angle are you playing? The chorus is technically an ally, nothing more. My only angle is to minimize bloodshed. Yeah.
Send me your...
Sorry, I'm gonna scum save this. Oh, sorry guys. I need to answer this. Hello? Yes, speaking. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I don't think it was frozen. It was just I don't get sound when I tab out of the game. So Jess, you are required to change the cat's name. Yeah, so sorry to do this to you guys, but I don't like how that went. I thought I wasn't aware that that was considered spilling the beans. But I'll run through this stuff really quickly.
Will do.
Blah blah blah. You two know each other? This one used to run with my pack until he left for Death Knell's gang. Motherless Swine didn't even have the guts to fight me for the right to leave. He just packed up and left with the coward's tail between his fat legs. Wise move at that. How many have you lost under your command so far? He holds up a hand, stifling a smile. I misspoke. I'm sure you only got most of them killed. Can't rule out death by your own their own incompetence. Seems Death Knell didn't take my advice to have you gelded to curb outbursts. First draws her blades in fluid motion. If you want to fight them, I've got your back, but we do have a mission here. Ugh, another time then. Fake limp, get comfortable with the idea of a knife in your belly. It'll come from me as likely as not. Verse sniffs and returns her weapons to her belt. Stuck in your chain for old time's sake, blah blah blah. How'd you find this place? Made silent. What's your plan now? Very silently.
On it.
I know there's some stuff that I need to discover. I wonder if I...
Found something.
Yeah, there we go.
Slow and steady. Time to lighten my step.
Oh, I don't know, Jess. Maybe something Skyrim related. Character is
Moving
particularly
cautiously.
helpful and might even become a wife in certain circumstances. Didn't you already decide on a name for the cat?
Time to lighten my step. Spotted something.
As you command.
Have a look here.
Pay attention, kids. You might learn something.
Take that!
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the only requirement is that you have to change the name from tiramisu. I know the current I don't know, mother, owner, person responsible is not a fan of that name.
On it.
Oh wait, I gotta be in stealth this whole time.
What have we here?
Oh, for God's sake! Why? Why would the game do that? I hope I don't lose somebody to this. Otherwise, I'm fine otherwise. Let's get her. Oh, all right. All right, I sometimes question this AI's decisions, but I think I can make this work. Ouch.
Consider it done.
Count on it.
Here I am. Shouldn't you be calling it Jessiquil then? Alright. This guy's rooted.
Will do.
You got it.
We're doing it, chat. I'm really waiting for this restore to get better. Yeah, the guys are looking pretty rough. Who is she currently focusing on? Mr. Steelbody. Oh, you know what? Let's knock her prone. And we will give a little bit of protection to...
Ready for another?
Smashed to pieces!
Alright, so we're going to take a little break so we can heal up. I've got 3 people who are wounded. By the way, Jessica, I believe most of my characters, whenever I've played a milady in CRPGs, I have named them either after goddesses or after
I'll stay downwind of our enemies.
kind of powerful female
I got
sort of heroines or other...
What do we have here?
Alright, so we're only going to go one at a time because apparently the game's going to sabotage me.
it. Right.
No more sabotage. But yeah, if you're looking for something along those lines, I'm happy to oblige. But I don't know. I think some of the fun is having you you be the one to name it, right? Thank you. I mean, we're not on the most difficult setting, and now after I don't really like scum saving story-based stuff. Like, there's been a few times
They
where
won't
there've
see me
been results that I wasn't fond of, but I stuck with them. But I think giving away the
Do you have
plot
eyes on this?
when that wasn't the plan, I think that's kind of a bit of an egregious one. So I was okay backing off on it. The Overlord's peons. Oh, right, yeah. We know what we're doing here. Like to talk all the same. Graven Ash sent me to inquire about this favored. Blah, blah, blah. You and your brother Tyrell and his band, most of his band, sent through Edring. Graven Ash wants one Pelox for another. Tyrell is alive? His eyes widen in surprise as he shuffles his stance. Is he well? Well enough? Do you have proof that he's alive? I asked if he had a message to send, and he swore at me and called me Kairos' coxswain. Yeah, that's him. My life can purchase that of my crew, my brother and his warriors. He taps his finger to his chin, narrowing his eyes as he sizes you up. Vendrian Guard Captain inhales deeply, taking a quick survey of his soldiers as he exhales slowly. I will do it. If you allow my soldiers to leave, I will concede and agree to be your prisoner. Surrender, and the rest of your crew may leave. You hear that? Go on and tell the crew back home that I'll return soon, and if not, the captain turns his gaze towards you. Well, if that happens, I trust that you will all avenge me. But if this Fatebinder speaks true, I'll be back soon. I'll even bring back a souvenir, the severed head of the voices of Narrator. Say your farewells, you're coming with me. Each warrior in turn approaches Florian, embraces and readies to depart with a silent nod. When the warriors have said their goodbyes, they hoist their rucksacks and depart.
They won't see me
Right.
coming.
Loop. Interestingly enough, I've not gained the experience that I did last time. Striding into the camp at the tail end of his sprint, the Scarlet Chorus warrior begins to speak but stumbles forward, bracing himself short of collapse as he catches his breath. More on the way. His words roll out between labored breath. Patrol from this morning, coming back. Oh, look at that. He smiles an exhausted grin through his heavy breathing. The captain is in one piece, just as requested. The voices will be pleased. Wait, the voices will be pleased? I thought I was going to see General Ash. This wasn't part of... Captain's lips curls into a sneer. I should have fucking known better. Captain looks down at his feet. A slow smile creeps over his face. You haven't won just yet. Second patrol should be returning right about now. If you can tackle the incoming patrol, my gang and I will make sure this Oathbreaker sees the voices of Narrator. The warrior salutes you with a wicked smile. Good hunting with you, Binder. The Archon of Secrets will be most pleased. You idiots!
Yes.
Oh yeah, guess I should level up before we do the fight. I think I said I was doing wits here? Do I want to do wits or quickness? Like dual mass, dual wielding. And I need to make sure to train up.
Right.
Haha, you can't see me.
At this point, I just kind of want to... Oh god, yeah. We can get fully into position.
Send them at me in waves!
Alright. Let's cast some spells.
You got it.
Why do you do this game?
That's how it's done!
Well, he seems okay. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's put some protection on...
I got it.
Oh, guess it's not needed. And now I can... Actually, I'm going to reserve the healing option. Alright, have a good one, 1-4. We're probably going to be wrapping up pretty soon ourselves, just because I'd kind of like to get back on track with my sleep schedule, and there's definitely things that I can do tonight, so... Alright, so we're gonna use the skill that's actually specific to the Fate Binder. And that gives me the option again of healing a party member if it comes to it.
I got it.
Again, we'll knock her down.
We're ready for another?
Alright, Brosif McBroferson, let's boost your might. And we can go further down the Punisher. Gain a chance to attack enemies as they engage you, or fierce demeanor. Yeah, I think we're going to do boosting the engagement attack. Give me the loot. Alright, where are we at? Okay, so we've already, so we finished that. I think we'll do Earthshaker reinforcements. We'll head back to the... Why do I want to go back to the... Oh, the disfavored camp because of the poison. And then also a little bit of training.
Slow and steady.
I almost always play like this on like CRPGs for myself. But I know this isn't the most exciting for
Consider
others,
it done.
So here we're just kind of getting people in position for the oncoming fight, because this is actually going to be a fairly tough one. There's a few of these guys. It's also possible that maybe I want to stealth my way around it, but we'll see. What's the mission here again? Look around for signs of Earthshakers. You've arrived in a clearing near the northeastern pass. Explore the area for the missing Earthshakers. So let's see if we can get by without any trouble. You know, the other thing I might be able to do is lure some of these guys out. See if we can avoid... We'll see if we can avoid detection.
Interesting.
Full stop. Okay, so I'm gonna get to the far edge and then I'm gonna break out of stealth. So what I'm going to do, if it comes down to it, I'm going to try and sort of trigger these kind of guys first. But I want to see if I can maybe get by at the northern part before I go any further. Okay, so if we're going to find evidence of the Earthbinders, it's going to have to be that. So actually, I'm going to slightly change my plans. I'm going to... Barrack's still going to be my shield, but I'm actually going to try and get people through here, because this is a bit of a narrower passage, so we can take advantage of... Alright. Excellent. Okay. Oh, damn it. I want to try and make them... Again, I want to get them suspicious enough that they fall for the fight. Alright. So now
Let's be off.
we basically have to go in full force, I think. I'll try one more time, but in this case it's just going to be magic.
On it.
Okay, gotta do it one more time. I didn't plan properly, so...
Will do.
This is a very trusting guard. Alright.
I got it.
Freeze the lady. Yeah, what a surprise. It didn't work out as planned. Alright. So we're gonna back up a little bit. Get everybody into position. So we've got...
You got it.
Oh god, he's gonna get nailed. How do I manage this? You know what? I'm gonna move him. I gotta move him out of position, out of danger right away. All right. New plans. Let's knock down this fool.
I see as the crow flies.
I want him to hit the combo strike. Alright, now she'll move on to flame attack on these guys. And Landry's done his job kind of as a decoy unintentionally. So let's start with buffing the tank. Again, I'm not gonna heal my main character because I have a special ability specifically to heal the Fatebinder, which literally hit exactly at the last moment I needed it. So I'm very grateful for it. Let's do a burning spear on these guys. I need to start dividing up the ranged units. So let's cause some trouble in those lines. Okay, Versa has to be a little careful. Let's tip the scales in our favor with a freeze. And Irene will actually can't afford it. Okay. We're just gonna rain down blows on this guy.
Can't do that.
Did I always...
Let's heal up our friend. As far as Irene, I think we're just gonna keep doing maximum damage. Okay, now I gotta find an answer about how to help my tank here. I think just eliminating an enemy over to the side here. Oh Christ, this guy. I think lesser healing potion's what we do here. Alright. Andre, I don't know why you are engaging the enemy that way, but you are not being helpful at the moment. Please buff your ally. I'm gonna cast Spectral Blur on myself to give myself a little advantage.
You might learn something.
Let's get Landry to finish this guy off.
I'm injured.
Only once an encounter, okay.
Oh, someone stitch me up.
Oh god, Verse is in trouble too. Alright. Did I just lose Verse? I think I did. Okay. We've got a taunt, which is good. That should hopefully buy me a little time. Let's start by freezing
Get that from the record.
this joke.
The fate finder needs help.
Alright, this will get interesting. Landry, back off. Heal our comrade. Again, Titan's touch.
For the queen!
I don't think we win this one, to be honest. A couple more hits like that, though, we might be able to do the trick. Okay. Getting good, better news. I think we'll go for the weakest. And
I'll take care of it.
kind of just step down from there. Okay, we got another heal up
Consider
for
it
our
done.
tank. I kind of want Barrick to be... It does mean that Lantry's going to be getting... No,
I feel
yeah. I wanted to make sure that my my tank at least took some
pain.
healing. I suppose now we just see how tough he is. Striking Iron should be able to tip it a little bit in my favor, but the fact that this ranged guy is so healthy is troubling.
I require needle and thread.
All right, let's see if we can do it. Yeah, so they're pretty weak.
My armor is dented. Let me repair it.
And we're gonna get another big strike, so I don't think this will be enough to finish it, but it'll definitely even out the health. Ooh. Okay, is there literally anything in this inventory I can give him? Can't be exchanged in combat. All right, well, it's down to the dice, I think.
My armor is dented. Let me repair it.
I don't think he'll get through this. We have one more hit until we're actually able to... Oh, we do have the big strike, so maybe. Oh, not enough. Yeah, we lost. Alright, so there isn't a way to engage them individually. The funny thing about that engagement is I could have, if Landry wasn't on the edge here, so I thought this was going to be tactically smart, but what happened was the entire fight he just wound up kind of walking around
Can't do
doing
that.
nothing helpful, so... In this case, the only thing we can really do is just punch people in the face, which is exactly what we'll do. Weapons. I'm not crazy about these alternatives. I think we stick with the daggers for... Lantry is still using his quill. And what do we have here? We've got a disfavored iron sword, so there might actually be some improvements here. I want to make sure it's still one-handed. Slightly better DPS if we use the Rending Edge. Ironically, the Bronze Axe is also better than the disfavored Iron Sword. So we've got 57, or we've got 84. And better armor penetration. We'll just go for the axe. This looks so silly to have a disfavored use of a bronze weapon, but...
Sorry, I can't.
They won't see me coming.
But yeah, so basically with Lantry spending all that time running around, that instead could have been time that he was dealing damage, and it came down to the wire, right? So if we'd in this case, I'm just not gonna try and not really be clever, and just do combat the natural way, I suppose. As usual, we'll start with burning. Also need to remember to use special abilities a little bit better, but...
On it.
Another battle! I think we're bad at making...
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is mitigation, so we're going to put some ice on this guy. I'm actually going to...
You got it.
That's how it's done!
So Verse is going to do a little bit of work out here. I'm going to keep this heal on cooldown as much as I can. And now I just need to make sure I use all of my abilities, and they basically... everything should be on cooldown at this point. Hey, Carney, how you doing? Alright, excellent. I'm actually going to take advantage of this. Verse is going to start harassing the back rows, so we're going to do burning on the guy to the left, and then we're going to engage the one on the right. Oh, and better still, we can actually do some frost damage. Okay, next up, Lantry is going to heal the Fate Binder.
We should try that again.
Nice. Okay, so who's... oh, got a heal back for our tank. Fate Binder's still in a little bit of a pickle, so let's heal that up.
Someone staunch my bleeding.
Alright. And now we get to have fun.
I'm on it.
I don't get why they stop using their skills partway through. Like, I'm still waiting on healing my tank. Tyranny's going well. I'm having a little trouble with the combat, it seems like, but nothing game breaking. Although we might lose this fight again now. Alright, let's tilt it back in our favor. Let's start with mitigation by slowing them down.
You got it.
Someone staunch my bleeding!
And then we'll knock them down.
Ready?
There we go.
I'm an exhausted mess. Can't we pause for a few hours of medicated bliss?
You there, you're not with the Oathbreakers.
I got it.
Just point me in the right direction.
Your Shakers moved this boulder with ease. Magic of that magnitude may be crucial for taking Vendrian's Well. Ah, Fatebinder, how fortuitous. The Earthshaker pounds his chest in salute. For us, I mean, decidedly not for the Oathbreakers. A smirk quirks the right side of his mouth as he surveys the carnage you have left behind. Whether intended or not, we're indebted for your help. Return the salute. You're welcome. He spreads his dirt-streaked lips in a relieved grin. May the stones guide your steps, and may you walk without falter on sturdy ground. Where's the rest of you? Was part of your squad killed or otherwise separated? Aye, the Oathbreakers felled Grissendeer before we could erect the barricade, but our circle alone was all Master Radix could feasibly spare. We're here, and though wayworn, we're ready to help. Wait, your commander isn't even here? With all due respect, Fatebinder, it's not a matter I'd expect you to understand. We absolutely cannot abandon Cairn into the Stone Sea. His nostrils flare in mild ire. As we've only recently located him and are in the process of reconstructing a fort to guard his remains, we could not spare another mage, especially now when the beast tribe that flocked to Cairn in his final days has become increasingly territorial and contentious. You still haven't played this game, but you're in the middle of a Pillars of Eternity campaign. You have to get Tyranny someday. Well, this is a nice moment to remind you all that I am partnered with GOG, or affiliated, or otherwise hawking stuff for them. Oops, my bad. If you are interested in picking up this game, it costs the same through GOG. It's DRM free, and there's a little bit of that money that gets tossed my way. They're also doing a winter sale right now, so even if you guys just sign up for accounts, that does help me. And I think I started saying thank you for it, but I didn't say it all the way. But I've noticed actually people have been pretty receptive to opening the GOG accounts, which is, good for me, both in the sense that, that's one of the things that does help out the stream, but also in the sense that it's a platform that I really like. So I like to have more people on it, and they actually just added some more games to their GOG Connect today, I think so. So yeah, for me, it's my preferred platform. And the big one is, everybody kind of asks, if you don't want to use GOG Galaxy, you don't have to. But it sort of answers the question, what happens if Steam goes away? Well, in the case of the DRM free games, you've already downloaded them, so they're yours, right? You don't have to worry about them like phoning home or anything like that. So, I don't know, that's the selling point for me. And for the case, not every game that we have is going to be on there, but I mean, especially if you guys like CRPGs, like if you don't have the Shadowrun games yet, they're on there for a song. And I have noticed some of you guys have not just been signing up for GOG, but you've actually been buying some stuff on sale there. So, as always, that's very much appreciated. Never required, but it is finally a way that I was able to do something that, for people who wanted to buy that sort of stuff anyway, it's a way that they could help out the cast without necessarily making a sacrifice on their part. But to your other point, Carney, I've not actually played that much Pillars of Eternity. I really like Tyranny so far, other than the fact that I think I might just disable AI in combat, and that way I'm sort of responsible for my own problems. But otherwise, it's very in-depth. I'm liking sort of the different story options. The spellcasting system is very interesting, and the story's cool. So I'm interested in it. Although I was going to ask, I noticed that the numbers have been a little bit lower tonight, and chat's been pretty quiet. So I was going to be asking at the end of the cast, which we're going to be getting to pretty quickly, would you guys like me to continue playing this? I'll be asking that a couple of times, but I'd be very interested in knowing what you guys think about it, because I know I don't really talk about themes until we're really deep into the story. And I've been doing more of reading the dialogue, which is fine, but It's a little different from what I've normally done, so I'd love some feedback in terms of whether or not this is something that's as encouraging for you guys. And so Radix refused Ash's orders. I'm not of the rank to make such sweeping evaluations. The Earthshaker stumbles slightly over his words, but he'd say and interpret them in his own manner and to the best of his judgment, rather than outright refusing them. He is an Iron Guard, after all. His decisions, though difficult to make as they are will certainly embolden our routing of the tiers. It's all good. Actually, I think, Johnny Big Time, you said you were a fan of the CRPGs, weren't you? Not if your general and his entire army is dead. He chokes, and the Earthshakers behind him gather closer, murmuring in surprise amongst themselves. One of them, a woman with wispy russet hair, slaps him on the back so hard, shockwaves tremble through you and into the mountains past. If I hit... What? He gasps for his breath. How? The Overlord issued an edict of execution. If we don't take the well by Kairos' Day of Swords, everyone here will die, including Ash. Oh, Divinity's excellent, Johnny Big Time. Well, clearly Master Radix was unaware of the severity of the situation. He glances worriedly at the other mages in his circle as they all visibly absorb the meaning of everyone here in the edict's range of affliction. Had we known, surely the guild would have come in full force. Regardless, it looks like you're all we've got. Report to Severus at the disfavored camp. He'll have further orders for you there. With a shaky nod and an even shakier salute, the Earthshaker gathers his circle, and cloistered together, murmuring of, or perhaps chanting in hushed voices, the battle mages march toward the valley. Alright, so we've gained a disfavored ability. +1 resolve? Oh, it looks like it's just constantly refreshing.
I got it.
Hey, got Empress Celestia. How are you doing? We might actually be wrapping up fairly soon, but glad to see you again.
Sorry, I can't.
Have you played Tyranny at all? Is this the sort of thing... I know you more so from strategy stuff, so is this the sort of thing that you like watching, or... What were my missions again? Return to the disfavored... Okay, so we'll go to the Scarlet Chorus first, because it's on the way. Not really an action RPG, I'd say more CRPG. So if you've played... The modern stuff would be Pillars of Eternity, which it's also by Obsidian. Basically, this one is sort of Bronze Age fantasy, which I think is an interesting setting in and of itself. And you basically play as the judge of an evil overlord named Kairos, who has been conquering this world. But I'd say this has a lot more. If you want to go further back, I'd say Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, Icewind Dale, that sort of stuff. And then Pillars of Eternity would be what Obsidian did before, and basically this game just builds on it. So if you liked Pillars of Eternity, this has about everything that you would want from that game. And then just in my view, they've built up an original setting, but they've also... I think they've also done a good job in terms of just adding some extra perks on top of it, so... Hey, Soul JD! I've not actually played that much Pillars of Eternity... Or, sorry, oh, Path of Exile... Oh god, sorry guys. So PoE could either be Path of Exile or Pillars of Eternity. If it's Path of Exile, no, I've only played a little bit. If it's Pillars of Eternity, I've played even less, but it is appropriate in terms of comparison. So, sorry guys, I'm completely mixing up my games here. Alright, let's see what these night yells are about. The hulking creature sizes you up as you approach. He doesn't appear impressed. Young Beastman stands in the shadow of an enormous beast woman whose stature still manages to loom over you, even in her crouched position. The Beastman's mouth frosts with a spittle that launches in every direction as he snarls at her. Night Owl was promised worthy, tough prey for joining, but Beast Woman only allows Night Owl to hunt weakest of humans, saves best for self. He pounds the earth, causing a small fissure to erupt. Night Owl was second strongest of Stone Stalker males before joining Scarlet humans, rutted even with 100 blood, with Tribe's Prima, was promised own pact for abandoning tribe mates. So the Stone Stalker, the largest spanning beast tribe in the entirety of the tiers. This is a feature I really like, by the way. So if you like lore in games, they do have a little encyclopedia inside of the game. Largest spanning beast tribe in the entirety of the tiers. The Stone Stalkers of Azure nearly tripled in population during the period of domestication and forced labor and service to the farmers and ranchers of the realm. However, like all beasts, the Stone Stalkers were born wild and yearned to range free, unfettered by humans within their own homeland. In ancient times, the tribe was known as the Meadowkins, but they were denied a name during the centuries of enslavement. In the turmoil created by Kairos' invasion of the Tiers and the conquest of Azure, the beasts rebelled and won their freedom. Drawn to the enigmatic presence of Cairn, Archon of Stone, the beasts took the name Stone Stalker as their own. After Cairn's defeat, when Kairos was proclaimed the Edict of Stone on... After Cairn's defeat, when Kairos proclaimed the Edict of Stone on Azure, creating the Stone Sea, the Stone Stalkers retreated into the wilds. The humans who have since encroached on their territory have been slaughtered. The Prima, leader of the Beast Tribe, a supremacy almost always held by the female. This rank was won and defended through vicious bloodshed and fights for dominance rather than birthright. Many alphas may exist within a single tribe, but only one can rise above others as Prima. The crouched beast woman lets out a deafening cackle, her broad, sharp teeth appearing between each bell. Strong Stone Stalker? Beastman worth rutting? She snorts. No, Claws at Throat sees only mewling first-season cub before Beastwoman now. Sees only tenderfoot, only weak whelp fit to chase injured, dying prey. Not best fighters on battlefield. Night Owl bares his teeth and lunges for the Beast Woman, but she is swift to stand, hackles raised, and calloused palm far larger than her head harshly pins him down to the ground in one deft swipe. His face smashes into the earth with a whip-like crack of stone followed by a deafening whimper. Claws at throat stares down at you with much regard as much regard as she might show wild dogs that roam the camp. Human? She sniffs in your direction, and her nose wrinkles as she scowls, disgusted by your foul scent. Humans, she hacks, always encroaching on Beast Woman, have no sense of danger, no recognition for prowling, hungry predators, are worse than sniveling beastmen. She grinds the beastman's face deeper into the dirt before lifting her clawed and gnarled fingers off of him. He quickly scrambles to his feet to nurse his head. Speak quickly, and maybe Beast Woman will listen. Oh, why not? I wager I could take you. The Beast Woman snorts, a stab of incredulity opening the features of her face, and she howls with racking, full-bodied laughter. Human as bold as Kith, is born hunter like Beast Woman. If Claws at Throat did not have runt whelp like Cur like Night Owl to train, Beast Woman would happily enjoy fighting with human. Bare your teeth in a wild, delicious grin. Don't worry, I know how to properly respect a beast. Allow me to gift you an offering of blood and bone. The Beast Woman perks up at your enticing words. She sniffs you curiously, more thoroughly than before, and smacks her lips softly, longingly, beginning to slather and drool. For a moment, you think she'll make a grab for you, but she merely sits back on her haunches, relaxed and watching you, pleasantly piqued as she scratches the taut stretch of her hard, muscled stomach. Yes, Beast Woman likes gifts of blood and bone, of fresh kills, but Claws' Throat does not want such treats now. Instead, little Bluntclaw will join Beast Woman in hot slaughter of humans, in one season soon. She spreads her massive maws in a deadly grin. What's going on here? Human has keen eyes, yes? Can see Beast Woman is disciplining insolent packmate. She snaps a menacing sneer towards the cowed beastman. Mewling, whimpering male. Night Owl will learn beastman's rank in new pack, or we will not survive for many seasons longer. A soft growl burbles up from the back of the throat in response to her threat, but he keeps his eyes downcast, refusing to meet her gaze. How did you come to join the Scarlet Chorus? Human pack called Scarlet Chorus is vicious, cunning, feral. Like tribes. Like beast women. She snarls, but the sound is pleased and rumbling, nearly a purr as she cranes her face in the direction of the voices of Narat's war tent. Chorus humans are dirty and reek like rotten meat, so easy shriek and tear at own throats, but also respect strongest of pack. The beast women are strongest of all creatures, our best predators, like Archon called Narat. Pack's fierce and ruthless alpha is mystic who can swallow prey, blood and bones whole, makes Bisman want to rut, fight, kill. Beast woman, rather. What tribe are you from, beast? She puffs her dirty, hairy teats and purrs with pride. Closet Throat was born of a tribe with no name and no lands, called Summer Snout by tearsmen who stole azure lands from tribe's ancestors. Then Closet Throats became great Stone Stalker, slaughtered own slavers and fought for tribe's freedom. Tribe who become strong, unbreakable as stone because of earth mystic called Archon Cairn. She sniffs at the memory, but now Cairn sleeps and dreams, drifting slowly into death in stone lands. 100 Blood protects Free Tribe, and Closet Throat fights to kill more tearsmen as Scarlet Stalker. Farewell. The Hulk. Right. Baz and Reg trade conversation in hectic whispers. Do you feel strange? Yeah. Reg rubs his shoulder nervously. Ever since the Fatebinder spoke Kairos' edict, I felt like bugs were crawling under my skin. They notice you as you approach with mixed expressions. Didn't see you there, Fatebinder. Is there something we can do for you? I think I want to do some more lore. Alright, so it doesn't seem there's any way to inform people of the poison. Vittles. Paled and wide-eyed, the Scarlet Chorus conscript takes slow, deep breaths as he shuffles with nervous energy. As soon as your eyes meet, he looks away in a panic, bowing his head and turning his body aside. Look alive, soldier. This place eats the weak. Huh? I didn't... He turns to face you, but refuses to meet your gaze. His body tenses and his chest puffing forward. Yes, Captain! New to the chorus? Captain is a southern term. Kairos' armies have commanders, and I am neither. I shouldn't be here. His eyes widen as his voice raises to a near yell. The chorus! I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not like these people. He looks out of the camp. I'm gonna die here. Or at least, I hope I die here, and soon. And to think I... His voice falls silent and his body slumps. And just why is this a mistake? Did someone take the vow for you? No, but I was forced to take the vow. He places his flattened hand to his neck in a pantomime of a blade. They slew my pa right in front of me, and then told me I was next if I didn't join the chorus. I never served in a village watch. I didn't know it'd be like this. Never served in the watch. How old are you? How old? He startled her across his face. I'll be a... Pa said I was born in 418, so that makes me... He lifts his fingers to count, though the gesture seems entirely an act, and he trails off, mumbling incoherently. I'm feeling generous today, so I'll give you some pointers. Pointers, Captain? He scratches the back of his head, confused. Of what sort? Strike him, playfully at first. Come on, raise up your fists and defend yourself. I'll show you how to survive. And maybe later, how to kill. He takes the first hit, but manages to avoid the next. Surprisingly deft, despite his gangliness and timidity. Best if I don't Miss Fatebinder. He ducks his head shyly. I don't think Two-Tooth would like it none if he saw me training, and I've taken enough licks from him to know to last me the rest of my lifetime. Strike him harder. Do not let your guard down. Strike back and watch your leg work. With a scramble and a surprised yelp, he barely dodges the third of your blows, the first two knocking him backwards on his feet. Panting, he regains himself, avoiding your exaggerated and slowed strikes until he swells enough confidence to punch back. It takes him a while, but eventually he lands a decently hard hit. Strike him harder still. Again. He cringes, tensing reflexively from the force of a strike, but does better against the next one and the next, eventually avoiding most and managing to return a fist or a boot a few times you allow for an opening. He throws all of himself into the training, courage improving until he's left panting and exhausted and newly bruised, his thin woolen shirt drenched with back sweat. Eventually he wipes the matted bangs from his eyes and offers you a grateful grin. I won't forget the training, Miss Fatebinder. I'll keep fighting and struggling, and I'll get stronger, till there isn't nobody who can push me around. Fatebinder? You sound frustrated. I am. He tips his helm back enough to spit the ground. You try and have to fist fuck every Fury who wants to try to talk to you. And that's after I try to talk them down. It's a Kairos damned mess. Alright. I don't think I have anything else to do here, so let's take a quick look at... Okay, so we gotta go to the disfavored camp. Echo Call Crossing is where our next one is. Yeah, so Echo Call is where our next batch of missions are. So we'll go to the Fatebinder camp. We might rest up because there's going to be a battle there. And I guess the big question is whether or not I do the battle tonight. Ooh, it's past 11. I think I'm probably just going to... I'll turn in the quests that I have. I think we'll start to... We'll do the next Tyranny session. I think I'll talk with some of the members in the party. To sort of start up, so if people aren't interested in the story stuff, they can catch the combat later, and then it was the Iron Marshal I need to talk to, right? Sevis. With all due respect, our cohorts have proven themselves against these Apex fools time and time again. What can your Earthshakers do that other than get in the way? I don't want to be here, Sevis, and my orders don't involve proving our value to you. If the Great General doesn't want our magic on his side, then he can order us to stand down and sit this one out. I don't question what your mages bring to the table, Hellspar, but I have my reservations about your leaders. Why couldn't Radix showed up to the siege himself? If he has more pressing issues than the state of the conquest, I would like to hear about it from his mouth. If Radix is not inclined to help, perhaps a next of kin might take his place. I hate to upset the chain of command during the time of war. Perhaps Radix's brother can convince him to remember his duty, Fatebinder. I thank you for your part, for the part you played. You didn't have to risk yourself, but you did so all the same. Right. Let's see what Horde says. This ironclad is being an ass, Fatebinder. I don't suppose you could intercede. Lowborn mongrel, don't address me as if I'm common trash. I'm third cousins with Vendrian Lyceria. That falx was given to my father, and he bequeathed it. Shut your cock, scabbard. When you bent your knee to the voices of Narat, you forfeited all claims on your garbage ancestry. Now drop it before I kick your... The disfavored warrior turns his head as you approach, and you hear a sudden shift in his tone. Just drop it. There are plenty of sticks around here. Isn't the menacingly shaped stick the weapon of choice in the chorus? But it's my blade. You let me wade into battle unarmed just for a smug little laugh? Is this how you honor your allies? Step closer and listen in. You assembled a field of battle across from us. Nobody told you to bring your ever so important family heirloom blade to the party. It's mine now. Walk away. And just let you... The chorusman's rage comes to a sudden halt as his attention turns to you. A look of recognition comes over his face, and he blinks up a storm, tripping over his words. I recognize this one. The Fatebinder, right? They said Tunon was going to send one of the court folk. Will you lend me a hand against this northern piss bucket? No offense. What seems to be the problem? This louse here was, up until recently, our enemy. He raised his falx against us. I knocked him on his ass and held myself to that weapon of his, a noble piece that he clearly doesn't deserve to wield. And I was offered a chance to make amends by serving Kairos as a vassal to the voices of Nerat. Why am I being treated like an enemy when I'm on your side? You're lucky to be alive. Lucky that freak Archon gives you South Knobs a second chance at life when we ought to kill or geld every last one of you. The disfavored warrior clutches his face and a long sigh can be heard from under his helmet. Fatebinder, we're clearly at an impasse, and I doubt he'll give me the satisfaction of striking first. I will abide by your decision even if I disagree, so long as this fool here will agree as well. There, a little civility. If he's willing, so am I. For the record now, explain your side of the situation. The warrior clears his throat before speaking in a measured, respectful tone. Well, Lord Binder, I first encountered this man some weeks ago on patrol. He was part of the Vendrian Guard hunting party. He stood his ground, maybe even took a swing at me. I do remember thumping him pretty squarely on the forehead with my pommel. I thought to myself, nice flax, so I grabbed my trophy after the battle. It was a rousing scuffle, but hardly worthy of an epic. I didn't think much of it until yesterday when this chap shows up asking for his falx back. I get he's sore about losing his family blade, but that's what happens when you rise your fist against Kairos. We don't give you back your thumb and fingers. Explain in full your side of the situation. I came around to following the Overlord, but recently. The choirman looks around the camp, his face turning pale. And I guess I'm just learning how things work around here. Anyway, this guy here, he bested me in battle, no bones about it. Didn't kill me, though. I suppose you could have guessed as much. Kindness itself. Go on, recruit. Anyway, I wake up next to some of my countrymen, and they put us through a decimation rite. I was lucky enough to grab one of the 9 daggers they tossed into the arena. He pauses to hold back a retch, his mouth twisting and the corners of his eyes twitching. So I survive, right? And I'm barely cleaning the blood off of me when I'm told my next task is to secure a proper weapon. The chorus doesn't exactly hand them out. So, his tone falters, his face going pale. I walk to the disfavored camp thinking they're supposed to be allies and maybe can help. Then I see this guy showing off my falx, and, well, it's a family heirloom. I was told to get a proper weapon, and it doesn't get more proper than a falx that has been in my family for generations. Either of you have anything further to add? I respect that this man found Kairos, but he raised a falx against us as an enemy. I know I'm in the right here. Scarlet Warrior shrugs. Shit, I don't know. I just know if I had 2 swords, I'd lend one to an ally. Seems how allies should work, right? So this is a tough one. The thing that I don't like about giving the sword to Horde is the fact that the whole point of this ritual is for him to prove his worth. And in the end, demanding something from... So the point here is that, you know, they're supposed to not take away from the resources of the invasion so much as they're supposed to sort of take away from the region. On the other hand, the bitterness between the disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus is creating problems. And in this situation here, yes, there should be something given to an ally, because in the end, this is just a trophy for the disfavored. The other thing I don't like about it from a Scarlet Chorus point of view is that he shouldn't be attached to a family heirloom. He should be attached to something, you know, he should be attached to a weapon. But anyways, I've reached my decision. Go ahead and I'll abide by your decree. Oh, I like this one, actually. So, the Falx belong to an Oathbreaker, not the Chorus Warrior. Received today a Judge of War trophy. Graven Ash insists on proper rationing. Stockpiling bronze you won't wield is a misuse of resources, and no way to treat an ally. Return the Falx. Falx is a proper trophy, but honor demands that you make a good faith effort to assist an ally. If you will not return the Falx, you must give him a proper alternative. And the Falx is the artifact of a conquered people. I claim it for the court. So... I'm going to say the Falx is a proper trophy. So the idea here is Graven Ash insists on proper rationing. tempting though this is, I like the idea here that in the end, part of the Dishonored 2 is if they are allowed to claim trophies. This, of course, is an incentive for them to fight as well. So in this case, providing an alternative is the correct. It does Kairos's justice. It ensures the strength of the army, but it doesn't permit Horde his attachments to the past. The Phalanx is a proper trophy, but honor demands that you make a good faith effort to assist an ally. If you will not return the Phalanx, you must give him a proper alternative. The Scarlet Chorus warrior nods silently, his face a stiff scowl. Not unreasonable. So what'll it be? So I'm to give him a weapon? The warrior's posture grows tense and he's silent for a long moment. Right, I get it. Compromise. So, the warrior looks expectantly at you. Glare silently. Okay. I might have a woodcutter's axe that I pulled from an Oathbreaker's hovel. The chorus scum is welcome to it. Happy now? I'd be tempted to do like the friendly one, which is like, you're not going to use it, you should give it to him. But in this case, I gave my...
It's all in the reflexes.
I gave my orders, and it was his job to follow it, so... Alright, so I think we're gonna rest. I don't think there's any more training I can do at this level. Yeah. Rest for 8 hours. Okay, so we've got a healthy party. I think I'm done for tonight, guys. I know it's a little bit of a shorter cast by about half an hour, but I do need to get sort of back on track as far as sleep is concerned. Again, guys, especially for this game, the audience has been a little bit thinner, which is fine, because I'm entertained by this, and I did forget to mention earlier on in the cast that this was... I was given a sort of a press copy from Paradox. So, I mean... As always, I try to be as honest as I can about the games that I play. I don't really feel any need to be a shill because there's plenty of great games out there which I've played and I can recommend for you. I quite like this. I think this is in the same vein as CRPGs. The only thing streaming-wise that I find a little different is that there is some recorded voice dialogue, so I don't get a chance to do as many of the voices as I was thinking, but I quite like it. I would be very happy to keep playing this game, but I would love some feedback in terms of whether or not you guys find this worthwhile. Or if the reading isn't quite doing the same as say the the Shadowrun games. As always, it's never a binding thing. If just because I'm getting some feedback that maybe this isn't as how do I put it? It's not as popular as I thought it would be. I still always sort of reserve the right to to play what I'm interested in. But as always, I'm interested in some feedback. Right. If this is maybe worth a once-a-week game, if this is a every once in a while kind of game, you can feel free to leave that feedback either in chat, you can give it through a message, you can give it through, Twitter, anything along these lines. Ask FM also is pretty good. Finally, if you are interested in the game, !game, which I'll do for you there. You can buy it on GOG right now. If you don't want to buy this game, I will also say, why do I do GOG? Game. If you scroll down, there is the link to the GOG Winter Sale. There's a lot of really good stuff there. Actually, let's wrap up with that quickly. We'll save out of the game. I know they change them around each week, and I'll show you a couple things that you can get out of this, which I didn't cover before. So let's bring a desktop up. Oops. It's going to be a little bit of a mess for now, guys, but... So, if you're watching this stream right now and you'd like to give a bit of support in terms of things that give me kind of affiliate money, the first thing I will mention is the GOG affiliate down here. If you click this link, this part here gives me credit for the purchases. There are two ways that you can support the cast. One is by signing up for an account if you didn't have one already. The other way is, of course, of purchasing games. And so I wanted to give you guys a few ideas of some of the things that are here. First thing I want to let you know about is if you are concerned, okay, do I really want another sort of version of Steam or something like that? The big reason why you want to deal with GOG, or at least the reason why I like it particularly, is that it's DRM free. They also have some more customer friendly policies. So the big ones that they sell themselves on are DRM free content, the fair price package. So if your game is, say, it's a $20 game and they're selling it for 20 euros, that's what the developer's done. GOG, out of their profits, will pay for that. So all my prices here are in Canadian, incidentally. And then there's the money back guarantee. So one of the things that you'll notice if you buy classic games through Steam, they're usually not very well done, and it's never guaranteed to even work. And so I will say, if you like classic gaming, GOG is your first option. You probably already have used this site. If you haven't, definitely check it out. Now, another thing to make it a little bit easier, if you're considering that, maybe you've got a lot invested in Steam and you're worried about sort of the fragmenting of the two accounts, well, you will definitely be very interested in GOG Connect. So in this particular case here, this is a list of games that they've done. I believe this is an incomplete list because I also know I've had The Witcher attached through the GOG Connect. But the ones here, so these are some new ones: Costume Quest, DEF CON, Stacking, Total Annihilation, Tropico 3. Actually, Total Annihilation I got through GOG. Walking Dead Season 2 were added the last time that I went through here. But there's definitely some other things that are attached which I haven't seen before. But the whole reason why I clicked on this link here was to let you guys know about some of the stuff in the winter sale, maybe make some recommendations, which I had meant to do for a while. Now, I haven't played The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. I might actually pick this up for myself. But this is a horror game, which is kind of interesting. This War of Mine is excellent. We played it before. 80% off is a very good price for this game. For $5, this game is absolutely worth it. If you like crafting style games, this game does a great take on the civilian experience of war. It's definitely good story-oriented stuff. It's, if you do like kind of crafting survival games, this is a neat take on it. If you don't like crafting survival games, though, it's a little bit difficult. And if you don't like games with heavy subject matter, this is one that you may want to avoid. Although I would recommend that it's an important story. This is based on the Siege of Sarajevo, which is the longest siege in modern military history. And so I think even if it's unpleasant to watch, it is it's important stuff to understand. Witcher 3 requires no introduction. I've not actually played it yet, so I can't really make a recommendation. But of course, CD Projekt owns GOG, and they are the ones who make the Witcher series, so, enough said there. FTL is another excellent game. We actually did our first normal mode win. $3.39 is peanuts to pay for this. It's a space roguelike, very well done game. You've probably heard of it already. $3.39 is a very fair price to pay for that. So if you're looking, especially if you know somebody who likes the kinds of games that I play and they don't have FTL, this is definitely a time to consider picking that up. Divinity Original Sin Extended Edition. So if you've already played the Obsidian CRPGs, you're looking for something sort of in the similar spirit, this is an excellent one. Nice thing that they do is also give you a 360-degree view so you can adjust the camera angle. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive than some of the alternatives, so these have been a little bit more value plays. $21.99 is a pretty fair price for this game, I would say, although, again, I was given to it by a streamer called Crunkalunka. So in this case here, if you haven't played, let's say, if you haven't played something along the lines of, like say Shadowrun or something along those lines, you might want to get those because they're a little less expensive to warm you up. And then you go for the heavier stuff like Divinity. Likewise, Pillars of Eternity. So I'd say if you like maybe something a little more action-oriented, or that if you like a more modern take on CRPG, Divinity might be better. Pillars of Eternity goes very deep in story. It's a lot more like Baldur's Gate and things like that. So if you want to play the game that sort of preceded Tyranny, you can get that at 60% off right now for 2009. And of course, the expansions, the DLC, the White March parts 1 and 2 are there. Crypt of the Necrodancer is another fun one, 67% off. So it's a fair price. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I were to say, do you want This War of Mine or Crypt of the Necrodancer, I'd probably they'd say This War of Mine or FTL over Crypt. But this is actually a game that Power Up Audio worked on, Kevin Regami's company. It's I think a Vancouver developer, if memory serves. What this one is, basically you can take sort of like DDR style games and combine them with a roguelike. So it's actually quite difficult to play, but it is it's good stuff. Now I'm gonna skip the bundles here, but you guys probably want to check this on your own. I'll just go over the games on there. So some of the other ones that are on sale: Metro 2033.